Hello, everybody, and
Hi.
welcome to the post-credit show.
Where we talk about games and
Games, yes.
that we've played.
That
Because
we
we
have
talk
played
about it a
and or
lot.
watched.
We talk about it a lot.
Okay,
Followed by
stop breaking the computer.
No.
I'm Nick,
I'm Tony.
I'm Chris.
I'm Brian.
and the dog under the table is Pancake.
Sometimes I wonder if you spend more time with the computer than me.
You should see us actually, like, if I'm on my phone and she wants attention, she knows exactly to be like, if my body goes here, he can't see the thing in his hand and has to love me.
Oh, see, mine knows exactly when I'm in a situation in a game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She
That I'm
knows.
doing something, and then she'll poke me.
So, like, again, I'm like emoji blitzing kind of thing, and the last
What?
week they had the food fight challenge, which is one of the ones I can usually finish. Because at the end of all the events, there's an emoji that you can get if you complete the event. And all of them are way too... like, some of them are collect this many items and do this and that and everything, but the item has, like, a 2% chance to show up on your map.
Just like, yeah.
And you're like, ugh. The food fight one, if you lose the food fight, so you get less ice cream cones, essentially, that are falling down than the other person.
Hello! I've got a new boyfriend!
I never get this.
I have a new boyfriend!
How
How does it make you feel?
if you get less ice cream cones, you get 2 stars. If you tie, you get 4, and if you win, you get 6.
Yeah.
And if you play with specific emojis,
So
you get
jealous.
double the stars. So even if you lose with that double star guy, you get 4 stars.
So it's not a complete wash.
Nope.
So it's
Don't
not a
get
complete
that.
wash, and you can actually finish the thing fairly quickly. Well, I skipped a day because I was busy, so I didn't get like a full day in of trying to get
Stars.
these stars, and so I had like 9 hours left and only so many plays to do so. And so I'm sitting there trying to I'm like, I just gotta get as far as, and then I was doomed. But at one point I'm like, gotta get as far, and she just sits there and does exactly that, where it's like, hi! What's up? And I'm like, I have to win these things.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, love me.
Something about animals that knows that we're in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
pay attention to stuff. And,
But yeah, she's absolutely hilarious when it comes. She's like, I know exactly where screens are when you're looking at them.
Stop
So-
looking at the TV. Stop looking at the phone.
You're supposed to pay attention to me. I am love.
But either way, we have been speaking of playing games.
Oh, I've been watching more TV than playing games recently. She's trying to get to you again.
This is the
nothing
shortest
to-
route.
This has nothing to do with me.
This is
and
the
everything
shortest
to
route.
do with Brian.
This is the shortest distance.
Okay. Hi.
This is
We're done.
This is.
Hi.
And we're off.
I don't know if we want to try this another take.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
guys. Dog is like, I am Nick. Hello, this is Nick.
this one here is Brian.
Hello,
I'll just cross the table to
Hello,
go
this is
show
Nick.
you Chris.
this is Nick.
No, she's done now. I have achieved my goal and made it to Brian. Now I wish to make out with him.
Alright.
Oh god.
Okay,
Oh god.
relax.
Okay,
Pooch.
if you relax and sit here, that's okay.
Not gonna happen.
No.
Just relax.
Okay, come back this way.
No. 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 What?
Oh gosh, her foot is like
She's good.
there.
Nope. That way.
No. I'll go that way.
I'll go around then.
So yes.
I've been watching more stuff than playing stuff. A new season of The Toys That Made Us is out. It's a Netflix kind of documentary series, I guess. And they talk about the toys.
You're
That's-
enjoying that one a little bit more.
Season 2 I like more just because of the subject matter, and I think that's the cool part about this show is it's not one where it's like, oh, episode to episode. The title of each episode is legitimately the toy they're talking about.
There's no surprises.
It's not like you sit there going like, ooh, I wonder what they're going to talk about in this episode, play, and then 10 minutes in, they're like, and that's how Barbie was created, and it's like,
You started
Oh.
with
oh.
pies?
And so it's like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
That's a thing.
So the first season had Star Wars, which was a very interesting story about how Lucas, pretty much
Sold the rights.
sold those toys and did all
Did
the
that
marketing and all
episode
that
ever go into the bootleg market of Star Wars toys? Because I know that.
stuff. Kind of, a little bit, but
I know
not
that-
much. It was more just the fights between all these companies and Lucas trying to actually sell the rights to these toys and everybody going, no one's gonna
No one's gonna get
no one's
this."
gonna play with this junk. And finally, one of the toy companies, who was a smaller toy company at the time, goes like,
Hello, Sisu.
Hello, Sisu.
"Okay, hey Sisu."
Oh, there's.
Like one of the toy companies finally takes a chance on Star Wars as a toy thing before the movie's out, before any of that stuff, and they have to develop all those toys. But there's four.
Yeah, I was gonna
of
say
those.
there's 4.
Well, one of us has to die.
Why are you looking at me?
It is not perfectly balanced. We cannot do that.
Grab your parachutes, guys. We have to like jump into the backyard.
I know whose parachute is rigged though.
You can have mine.
Oh, that's even more like
Mind games.
So either way, the season 2 came out and it deals with Transformers, which I thought was really cool because like I don't really know a lot about how Transformers came to be. Lego is on there, and I know a little bit more about Lego. So the Lego episode I watched and it was a little less interesting because Lego made some really good decisions, and then Lego made a lot of bad decisions, and then Lego made good decisions again. And it was kind of that whole like up down, and I'm like, well, I kind of knew that. So there was nothing really extra other than apparently the molds for the original Lego bricks are actually buried in the foundation of their building,
Oh, that's clever.
so that no one can get a hold of them.
ever.
Except they forgot that patents run out. So that's when Mega Bloks became a thing, and all of that stuff
Yeah.
started coming out was because the patent finally ran out
For
on.
Lego.
Now again, the patent for that little tube in the middle. The first Lego bricks
Yep.
didn't
Oh,
have
yeah.
that little tube, so they didn't actually stay connected all that well. So the big patent, the big like engineering miracle of Lego is that tiny little tube in the middle of the brick that gives it its sturdiness. And apparently, so it started in Denmark, and all the like it was a toy from there.
I knew about
And there was other brick toys back then when it first came out. It had not,
okay.
like it wasn't the only one on the market.
Yeah.
They were the first ones to actually release with bright colors, though, and that was part of their appeal. Was they actually looked at that one artist who does those square paintings with the blue, red, yellow,
yeah.
white, black lines,
Yeah.
and that's how
Andy
they chose their
Warhol?
color palette.
Andy Warhol?
That's not no, it's not a Warhol. But they looked at that. They looked at that artist and went like, "Oh, we'll just use those colors. Cool." But like, and then they talk about how one of the because it's a family-owned business, still is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And one of the like kids of the guy who ran the place was like, I need green. Like, start making green pieces, damn it. And they're like, no, green is not a color of Lego.
And now it is.
And now it is. And then part of their resurgence now as a company is the next guy who took over as they were, almost going bankrupt and everything went, why are we making this piece? Like, what does this piece have to do? Like, why are we making 8,000 of this?
Yeah.
Why can't we just put these two pieces together, just like, replace that piece? So essentially they went back down to what are the basic bricks we need to make sets?
Yeah.
Like, why are we making so many stupid pieces
Oh, like the
That no
custom
one
pieces?
uses.
that we're going to spend a bunch of money making molds on and never use again?
Yeah.
Or we're going to make a bunch of stupid pieces and try and fit them in places that they don't fit, or they're going to cost us money, or this or that or anything. So essentially it was let's go back to basics and stop trying to build things that look flashy and crazy and actually make things that are just fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Good.
and then Transformers was just a wacky trade deal
Between Japan and America, right?
between Japan and America. So America was producing this crazy toy called G.I. Joe, and the Japanese wanted it because it was a popular action figure. Except this was, of course, after World War II, and there was still some
Animosity.
some tension.
Some animosity.
So creating an American soldier to try and sell to Japanese people, not really
the greatest idea.
Read the room.
yeah, it's
Read
like
the room.
So the Japanese at that point were big into the robot shtick. So what they did was they took the
Debatably
body,
still are.
well, so
Still
they
are.
took the body of G.I. Joe, and they made him see-through, and they gave him some gears and whirls inside of his body, and they turned him into a robot called like Action Man or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then Action Man eventually evolved to a thing where you could take body parts and transform those things, and then it became
Like Metabots.
sort of, and then it became like all of his accessories could transform. So Hasbro, this company who had paid Hasbro for G.I. Joe, turned G.I. Joe into whatever he was. And all of a sudden they had all these transforming toys that they were starting to market themselves. And Hasbro was like, oh, those look cool. So they bought the rights to those. Like, it was this weird, like...
Circle.
One doesn't exist with the other.
And it actually was. So then the cool part was Transformers does its big thing. The movie comes out. And essentially the movie was the obliteration of all the original Transformers so that they could release all new toys, because that was the whole shtick, is you have to. So that's why Optimus Prime dies. Spoilers if you haven't seen the 1980 whatever movie. Like, sorry to burst your bubble, but
the touch.
yeah. But that's why they killed off Optimus Prime. Was to make sure that like they could sell new toys and do the whole thing. And then there was the decline of Transformers.
Yeah.
And then instead of going back to the... So at one point, when Transformers got really, really big, they kept going back and taking this Japanese company, like, they're like, okay, we'll take this toy. And they're like, well, that's not part of the line of, transforming robots. That's a transforming plane.
Yeah.
Not a transforming tape deck or gun or what, they're like, that's a plane, that's a different series. And they're like, it's okay, we'll take it. And like, that's how they got Starscream.
Yeah.
Was legitimately like, the plane, we'll take the plane.
We'll
and
take
they're
the
like, well, no. Well, you can have it because you're paying us, which is cool.
Yeah.
But just know, like, our Transformers are these, like, 26. That's it. And Hasbro was like, no, don't care. What else do you have that transforms?
Yeah.
We're into that shit.
We want all the transforms.
And then the big piece is Microbots came out before Transformers by like 6 months with their own cartoon show and all of this stuff. But the big shtick was their cartoon sucked. And the story for Transformers and all of their names came out of Marvel Comics.
Oh, really?
So Hasbro went to Marvel and went, here's the toys! Name them, story.
That sounds good.
Cool.
And they got some lower people, because no one wanted to work on toys at
Yeah.
Marvel. So it was a bunch of like low-level kind of editors and this and that and everything who were sitting there going like, oh, well, originally one of the characters was supposed to, I think Optimus Prime, no, not Optimus Prime, Bumblebee or someone was supposed to be named Headlights. Until he found out that was like a word for, yeah. And so, but that's where Transformers all kind of got going.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool
That's
show
awesome.
to watch because
That's
you get
neat.
this like
History of
background into
Transformers
that
too.
piece. So I feel like there's only 4 episodes per season on both seasons, and I feel like there's one killer episode on each season that describes things that it's like, oh man, like I didn't know that. And then of course the research.
I would love to see an introspective on Pokemon.
Exactly, like
just
that
to
would
see
be the really
what
cool
the
piece
toys,
of it all.
the original 1996 toys were.
Well,
Did you see the release of the original Pokemon in the comics?
Right.
Some didn't get chosen.
It wasn't just the comics. So what happened with that was they had a stage or a floor demo for Pokemon Gold and Silver back in 2000 whatever or 1999. And it was literally a floor demo to see the next Pokemon game. But people finally got a hold of that actual cartridge and dumped it on the internet and found tons of unreleased Pokemon and tons of plans for Pokemon that didn't release until like Generation 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like Leafeon was planned as an evolution in the second generation.
Yeah.
Mime Jr. was planned in second generation. They also had another whole line of generation starters, like for Generation 2, which did not make the cut. So that's where that came from.
Oh, that's where that came from.
That's
Okay.
that one, yeah.
That's cool though.
And then the cool part with the Transformers one was after the movie, people stopped buying Transformers because they were not as cool as Optimus Prime and Crew. And Hasbro at that point was like, we've got our own people designing toys. We're good. So the Transformers for a while didn't really transform. The car kind of opened up and you could pull a robot out.
Oh.
Because they're like, it's faster.
Yeah,
But
not
not
as
as
cool.
cool.
but
And they
not the
dropped,
fun.
and so the Japanese people who had been helping them make games or make these toys was gone. And then all of a sudden they're like, this isn't working. We must rebrand. And then we got Beast Wars or Beasties if you're Canadian. And that was actually when they had gone back to that Japanese company. And they're like, okay, we want to do animals. And they're like, okie doke. So the Hasbro company was like, we need a cheetah.
cheat.
So Hasbro came up with all the ideas for the character sent it to Japan,
And they built
and
it.
Japan was the one who built it. So all of a sudden, the Transformers transformed again. And all of a sudden, there was the resurgence of Transformers.
Interesting.
Which was, then I'm like, well, that was... And even the guy on one of the collectors on the show was like, that is Transformers for some people. It was Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
started
remember
that
that growing
generation.
And really, for me, like, that was
my favorite.
My one friend had cars that transformed. I had like a couple of those, but I never really was like, Transformers! And then Beast Wars came out, like, I still have my Beast Wars.
I remember us playing that all the time.
I don't know where my
yeah.
Optimus went, but
I
had
had
Optimus.
Optimus Primal, man, because he's a monkey.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you press the little button on his back,
Yes. No, it wasn't a button. I think it was on the shoulder. Maybe it was like a lever or something.
yeah, there was a lever on his back.
Yeah. I remember that. No batteries required.
And then you could legitimately just stick the lever back in. Like, there was, like, those toys were so ingenious, and that's why that show was really cool to watch. Was
I always
that
wanted a
piece of it?
Megatron.
the
That T-Rex.
I am. He's upstairs.
I've always wanted one.
He's up. He squirts water.
I know. That's yes. Still want him. Still want for some reason. don't know
I think
why.
the funniest story was the old Megatron used to be a gun, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
the-
apparently there was like toy guys who were going around trying to sell these toys to stores and manufacturers and this and that and everything else. So they're going through airport security and like putting their, their bag on the thing, and it goes through, and they're like,
That's a gun.
"Oh my god!" And he's like, "No, no, 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 no."
It's a toy. It's a
Yeah,
toy.
open it up, take it, and like the lady was like, they would literally have to talk through an adult, because like they wouldn't let them obviously touch it.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, if you pull those two pieces apart, and then you flip these things up, and you move those over to the left, and these things, he becomes a robot. Like
That was
one
kinda
adult
the-
to another adult
Yeah.
trying to explain, like, no, 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 no.
That was the cool part about Transformers. Was it's almost like a puzzle
Yeah.
to like get it to the way
And that's
you
why
want.
when Hasbro started making them, where you just legitimately opened up a canister and a robot popped out,
It wasn't as fun.
no one wanted to play
Yeah,
with them
you-
anymore because the puzzle was gone.
Mhm.
Because I think that was always the coolest part, is you read the instructions in your, like, the Beast Wars toys, and it was like, okay, undo this, press this, do that, and then as you played with them more, you're like, well, if I just pop this,
Yeah.
and do this, they transform
They transform-
8,000 times faster. But that's once you got used to playing with
Yeah.
them, and then,
Right.
you got into that whole groove of...
And that's why I really, really don't like the newer Transformers. Thank God that new one's not on their docket anymore. It's like they don't transform like they normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when they first did the Transformers movies line, they tried to make a line of Transformers that automatically transformed when you hit a button.
Yeah.
I'm like, half of me sounds really satisfying, but the other half it's like, why do that though? That's half the appeal.
It's like doing a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Right, but watching it transform automatically is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's cool about once.
Yeah.
And again, like, and then they talked about kind of the newer movie stuff and how purists are like, well, they look more organic, but it's just not the same as
It doesn't
it
have that.
used to be, and that kind of stuff. It's a big piece. It's a cool show to watch. And the nice part about the Toys That Made Us is you can legitimately, if you're into G.I. Joe and you want to know more about G.I. Joe, there's a G.I. Joe episode. There's a He-Man episode. I forgot what's on the second season that I didn't. Oh, Star Trek
Oh yeah.
Okay.
is on there.
I guess that makes sense. You do a Star Wars one and then you follow up with
Yeah,
the
Star Trek and Hello Kitty. That's right.
Oh, Hello Kitty would be a
I
cool-
watched
And you know
Hello
what? In
Kitty
all
one.
honesty, like, I'm not a huge Hello Kitty person, but Hello Kitty and Keroppi and all that, like,
Yeah.
I think it would
There's
be
a
an
lot of-
interesting.
There's a lot of history.
There
There's a lot of
Yeah.
history behind that.
because everybody knows Hello Kitty. And
I had a lot of Keroppi stuff.
That's
when I
what,
was a
but
kid,
that's
too.
what I mean. Like, it's prevalent in
Yeah.
most people. Like, if you show a Hello Kitty bag to someone, and they're like, oh, "Yeah, right."
Yeah, that's Hello
cat."
Kitty,
Yeah.
yeah.
They might not know it as Hello Kitty, but they're like, "Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
cat."
Or that it was a cartoon
Yeah.
and a toy
Yeah.
brand. Yeah.
Deadpool knows.
Deadpool.
We've started watching 13 Reasons Why, season 2.
How do you liking it?
They ended the first season with a cliffhanger, and from what I've read online, it's also the cliffhanger to season 2.
It's the same cliffhanger.
Yep.
Same cliffhanger.
Meaning
What?
they don't address it in season 2.
Oh.
So what is my appeal of watching another one of these?
So season 2, the tapes are done.
Yes.
Someone's spreading photos around and threatening because now there's a lawsuit against the school.
Okay, that's natural.
So the lawsuit against the school is what did they not do to protect the girl and Hannah from
Yeah.
the first season. So they're bringing people forward who are now kind of explaining the scenes we got from the tapes, and then going that extra 5 minutes. So, like, what happened after Hannah stops telling that story, and it's from the other person's point of view, and you're like, oh.
And I know that there's some plot holy stuff where in the first season there was a note or something that he gave.
There's a lot of
that wasn't quite the same,
and that's the piece is Hannah's story was Hannah's story. Now we're getting bits and pieces of other people's stories. And then to keep Hannah in the story, we have Clay, who is like the main guy from season 1, is seeing her and talking to her.
Oh, so he's losing his mind. He's losing his marbles.
I think it's more of a coping type thing. So for him, like, that's how they're playing it off, is he's discussing this stuff with what he thinks she would have said, sort of thing, to kind of compensate for stuff. And at the same time, this trial is obviously against the school, but one of the girls in the first season got raped, so they're trying to, like, find a way to get this guy accused of rape, because like, he's so far just still running the school as one of the jocks and this and that and everything. So, like, it's interesting. It's less of an intrigue, because the last one was like, what's gonna be on the next tape?
Yeah.
This one's just, is she actually gonna say something on the stand? And you're like, oh, that wasn't.
It's more
exciting.
like a law. Is it more like a legal show than that?
No, because they're not spending a lot of time in court. It's more of it's turning into a slight teen drama.
That's the last thing you need from something like this.
Which is kind of disappointing. Now, they're still dealing with some bigger issues and that kind of stuff, because there are parental groups that are like, take it off of Netflix! If kids are having these feelings, they shouldn't be watching this show. And I'm like, well, then you should watch the first 30 seconds of the show where it says, hey, if you're dealing with any of these issues, don't watch our show and go get help.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do that in the front and the back.
They do. They go on both ends of the show now. Like, listen, we're dealing with, rape and suicide and bullying and
real world stuff.
Heavy talk.
Like, there's one kid at the end of season 1 who tried to kill himself, and he's back in season 2. Like, the bullet missed all the important parts of his brain, apparently.
Okay.
So he can't walk very well anymore. Like, he's going through physio for that kind of stuff, and parts of his memory are gone. Like, the reason he shot himself, he does not remember. So they're dealing with some of that follow-up. But that's what I mean. Like, there's all this extreme stuff happening, and they make sure at the beginning and end of each show, they're like, listen, like, if you're feeling any of this wide range of emotion, here's the number you can call in the States. Literally Google, like, this, or this, and
I'm actually surprised that now, maybe this is just a little more work on Netflix's part, but depending on which browser you watch it in, whichever device, like, maybe include a quick hot link that you can just press
something,
and that's like a website.
But that's the piece. So it's not as good as season 1, because the intrigue's kind of like gone. Because the first season is legitimately
what's on the next.
If you get the tapes, you're on one of them.
Right.
So that's the whole shtick, is Clay, this guy who seems to be
he's
generic nice dude, gets the tapes, which means
wrong?
He's on one of them, and you're like, what did he do?
What did he do?
He genuinely...
That was so bad, so you want to get to that tape.
But now that
And then now all the tapes are out, and you're like, oh, okay, he's genuinely a nice dude who's now just, slightly losing his mind. And, trying to solve... And again, it's one of those things where he's trying to solve problems as a 16, 17-year-old. And you're like, this isn't a job for you. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry to say that as a, you're sitting there going, like, this is not a problem for you to solve.
To deal with. And
like, you shouldn't be going to another city to try and track down one of the kids who disappeared to try and bring them back to, like, this is not a you job. And why you can manage to find this guy who ran away,
but
and the police can't, or anybody else can't.
Or an adult can't.
Right. Like, there are some severe issues. So it's
polarizing. It sounds polarizing.
It kind of sucks, because there's some good conversation that can come out of this show, and then
it's the delivery that is wrong.
The delivery's a little off. I just finished episode 2 of Arrested Development season 5.
Yes, I want to see that really, really bad.
The cast is all back. So episode 1 is mostly about Jason Bateman's character, Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Just to kind of set up what's happened between what happened in season 4. They give you a 10-minute overview.
It's the gas leak season.
In case you didn't watch the remixed version. So they're like, okay, all this stuff happened, and this is where we've left off, and Michael's now working for a company called Search.
It's not Google.
It's definitely not Google. And then it kind of just shows where everybody else is. So that's kind of the first episode. Second episode kind of expands on that, and the second episode ends with everybody back in the same room together for whatever this season's arc is going to be. And the whole point of the end of season or episode 2 is to be like, look, we've got everybody back.
You cannot complain.
Yeah. We're not doing weird shots where we're only showing the back of people's heads and not together in a whole room. Like
It happened.
Jason Bateman walks in, and the guy who plays Tobias is like, oh, I guess I can stop playing your character now. Like, you know, the guy with his arms on his hands and the stick up his butt, I can go back to being Tobias. And he does like a walk around the room where you generally get to see, the whole cast. So
that's kind
of what was Netflix's crazy decision to release 13 Reasons Season 2,
Arrested Development
Season 5, Kimmy Schmidt Season 4 within the span of 2 days?
Yep.
Really want your...
Kimmy Schmidt and Arrested Development makes no sense. 13 Reasons Why and either of the 2 comedies, I kind of get.
Right, but like you get your 2 like most popular comedies on Netflix, original Netflix, together, like all basically back to back.
Yeah.
Because I think Kimmy Schmidt came up the 29th and Arrested Development the 30th or something?
Something like that. Yeah, it was pretty close.
I'm like, why would you do that? I have time. I can only watch one of these shows at a time.
But yeah, Arrested
They want
Development...
you to buy 2 TVs and watch both at the same time.
Arrested Development
Watch one on your
definitely
phone.
feels...
Yes, right.
Arrested Development definitely feels more Arrested Development.
That's good.
Already, and it's only the second episode.
That's
like,
good.
Michael's trying to make plans, and then, of course, like, he disappears for... Like, it's essentially he spends 2 months working at Search and living his life without his family. And then he accidentally kind of ends up back with his family. Like, it works out perfectly, just the way they tell everything. And George Michael... Most of them end up in Mexico for a bit. And you don't find out really what happens to them in Mexico. They're all just back. At the end of Season 4, so if you haven't seen it at the end of Season 4 or close to the end, or I'm not sure in the remix where it exactly happens, but we have Zoolander.
Ben Stiller?
Ben Stiller's character, who's a magician.
Is he still back?
I mean, he hasn't come back yet, but the whole shtick is in Season 4, Job and Ben Stiller's character have sex.
Of course, yes. I remember that.
And now Job is trying to prove that he's like a heterosexual.
Yeah.
And the dad also had this moment where like his hormones are off or something's wrong, and like I'm not sure if he took something, but all of a sudden like he's having, you know, masculinity problems. So there's the 2 of them for a while just driving around trying to pick up chicks, but not really pick up chicks because they're not so sure of themselves anymore. So they're just trying to prove how macho they are, and I'm like, this is good. This is back to being good. And then for games, Pokemon Quest.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was announced and then released the same day.
Yeah.
We all played
Yeah, that was...
We've all touched it a little bit.
Yeah. So
We technically did touch it.
I gave it a shot. I'm on level 3.
I am on level 1.
Between...
So I finished
2
level
and
1. I
3.
finished level 2. I'm now like I'm going in order.
I'm going whatever my power level is.
I have no interest in that game.
And you know what? It's getting.
I think
I don't know.
It's free to
I
play,
like
free
the
to start.
collecting piece.
The
of
free to play
it.
then free to start stuff is really prevalent in this game.
It very much is. The fact that there's an energy bar kills me.
Very mobile gamey.
Very mobile game.
I'm honestly not surprised. I'm super surprised there's no single like give us $20 and then we'll just unlock the energy bar for you forever.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's there's DLC already, so you can like pre-purchase these.
All those statues?
It's statues and Pokebucks and
The thing is like
a
with
bunch of stuff
Pokemon.
and extra space for your Pokemon.
But the thing is, in Pokemon Shuffle, I think actually that's an actual option on the mobile version is to give them like a set number.
Yeah.
I think so.
And then on
yeah.
top of that, they released a 3DS, like a physical cartridge version of that game for
Yeah.
Shuffle, which means there's no free-to-play stuff in that either. So Why does it not exist in Quest? That makes no sense to me.
That's my big piece with this game is
as a game it seems fine.
Yeah.
as a game it's okay. And again, like as long as you're playing just with the touchscreen, I'm kind of okay.
I know when people saw that trailer for the first time, everyone literally lost their minds because it's like, I don't want Minecraft in my Pokemons, but it's definitely
it's not Minecraft.
It's not Minecraft.
It feels more like a cheap Pokemon mystery dungeon.
Yes, yes.
In my brain.
People were equating it to Mystery Dungeon. They were equating it to Pokemon Rumble.
Yeah. It is a mini Pokemon side game.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm down with that.
But it's free, so I mean...
It's free. Now my problem is the countdown timer on the battery is a half hour for each thing.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing for a system.
No.
For a phone,
sure.
Okay.
I'm much more inclined to play it on my phone.
Yeah.
A, because of the time, the battery stuff, like actual battery stuff. But B, the orientation of it is just incredibly awkward to play with. And there are button controls for...
Yeah, button controls.
But they don't even tell you what it is.
No,
like, I would be more inclined to play that if I knew which button was doing what. And...
but even because like I said, I played that Disney Emoji Blitz game, and at least that one, I know it's, I think, 7 minutes or 8 minutes a heart. So by the time I work through 5 hearts, I usually get another one.
Yeah.
And then it's a 5-minute wait to the next one. And by then, I'm usually done.
Yeah.
This one, I'm sitting there with my Switch, like, all right, let's sock myself in for the night, like, get my butt groove into the couch sort of
10
thing.
minutes later.
And 10 minutes later, it's like,
you are out of energy.
You can give us 25 Pokebucks and we'll give you more.
Yeah.
And
But-
it's like,
Yeah.
but how do
I
I
wanna
get
save
more
up.
how do I get more Pokebucks?
Money.
Because in the game, you can only hold 20 Pokemon off the bat, and 20 of those power-up stones.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And it
not,
costs
that's not
50
collecting at all.
So
It
for
costs
50
50.
Pokebucks, you can expand both of the, like, you can expand your Pokemon by 20 or your stones by 20.
It still does always stay at 50, so you can keep... And I
Buying
think it's
them.
a maximum of 300 or
300.
something.
You can collect
But
300 Pokemon.
there's over 700.
Well, there's not that
But
many.
it's only Gen 1.
This is just...
Oh,
yeah, it's only
Generation
Gen
1.
1.
Oh,
It's
okay.
only Gen
That's
1.
not that bad then.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I can see them releasing the other generations.
So
as
I'm not
time
like,
goes by.
I'm not mad at the game.
Yeah.
I'm not loving the game, but I'm finding myself...
I would like to control the Pokemon.
Right.
I
Instead
don't
of
like
just
the
having
constant
Yeah.
run around. Like, it's
They always follow each
controlling it.
other.
The only thing that you really have control over is when they use their special
Attacks.
attacks.
or when they run away.
Or when they run away. Right?
Yeah.
It's because some of the bosses use like I think it was
AoE.
Executor uses like he drops bombs all around
Yeah.
him, and it kills it takes off a significant amount of health. You press the little runaway button and they scatter.
They scatter for a
Oh,
bit,
yeah.
and
And then
you
they
can,
come back.
They
Yeah,
come
his
back.
seed bomb, yeah.
Yeah, so it's legitimately trying to see the cues for when the boss is going to do a move,
Yeah.
pressing the runaway button, and then pressing all the attack buttons you can press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked, because of that energy thing, I just play it up, like, before I'm going to bed, or I play it on the pooper.
Exactly,
Like,
but that's my
you can't,
thing.
You can't sit down, snuggle down, and be like, I'm going to
But
play
I
this
really
for, like...
want to, though.
I know,
it
right.
looks
Exactly.
really good.
Exactly.
Like, I know when I first saw it, I'm like, nah, I don't want any part of this. And then as I saw more...
That is legitimately a game I could probably sit there for 2 hours and mind-numbingly just be like,
But no, you have to wait, like...
Yeah.
You have to wait half an hour.
I have to
for
wait
each
2.
one.
I have to wait 1 hour for
Yeah.
2 of those things to pop up, so I can play for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, no.
There needs to be like a one-time, like $30 or $20 or something.
Yep.
I'd do it. I
It
would do
depends on how
that.
many challenges you do, too.
Yeah. Well, I did a challenge, and I got the extra,
I
but
kept
then I had to
kept
go,
getting-
and I was like, well, this is going to get wasted.
I kept getting challenges, so I kept... My meter never fell.
And it depends on what challenges you do, because like I'm at the point now where most of my challenges give me Pokebucks and not,
Or-
and I'm
or
also
the
jumping
food.
between 2 and 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that, and then we wowed.
You guys all wow.
We wowed.
Wowed.
So I have locked my priest in at level 29.
I'm at
What do you mean
29,
by
so we
lock it
cannot
in?
lock it in.
All right,
can
so
unlock
we can
it now?
unlock
Unlock
our
them.
guy.
What does locking in mean?
So essentially, they
You
have
can't
a
gain
guy you can
experience
talk
anymore.
to, so you don't gain experience. Because when we do battlegrounds, they're broken
Okay.
into brackets. So
Okay.
20 to 29,
Well, you're all...
30 to 39, 40 to
Okay.
49,
Alright,
etc.,
right,
etc.,
right,
etc.
right.
If we level up to 30 and
You
he's
can be-
28, we can't
play-
battlegrounds
we can't
together.
battlegrounds. They won't let us join a
So there's a
queue.
guy you can talk to, and you give him gold,
Mhm.
and he goes, "Okay, you can no longer level," and you go, "Okie dokie,"
Until your friend catches up.
and then and Brian and I have like reached that with our druids,
Yeah.
where like one of us, because if I mine, I gain experience
yeah.
for that, and I'd out level Brian for a bit. or he'd out level me because he would do something else. Like it, every once in a while you and we'd only be one level behind or half a level behind.
Yeah, not by very much.
Wasn't crazy. We're like, oh, let's quest for 10 minutes and we'll be good again.
Yeah.
But for that moment, we can't actually
PvP
and go into our group. So
interesting.
So that's actually kind of the shtick. Cool. And I mean, they do that obviously to be fair. They don't want you jumping into a battleground and being like, "Hey, I
got all these extra moves."
Yeah. Like I can't go in as my level 110 and be like, "Brian, let's party up in like battlegrounds," and he doesn't end up with a bunch of level 110s, or I don't end up with a bunch of level 40s, going like, "I'm you all
like Thanos."
So we Brian locked his guy first. I locked my guy last night. So yeah, but if you're 29, we can
probably about a quarter of the way
to
half somewhere in there.
Okay,
perfect. You get to be a small fish in a big pond now.
And then the next thing once we get to the next
once you
bracket,
jump into the stuff, they boost you up to the max you can go.
Yeah. So because PvP's always been such a problem in WoW, because again that bracket can be very polarizing. Yeah, you hop in at level 30, well, all the 39s can pretty much just
ruffle stomp you.
So for this expansion, when you go into a battleground, you go to the max level of that battleground.
Oh, even if you're the lowest level.
You don't have the moves.
You don't get your moves though. So you'll still be missing like certain spells, but your stats normalize to what everybody else's stats are. It becomes more of a, do you know how to play your class? Do you have the right stuff? Do you know, like...
I shoot arrows.
Yeah, but see, like, a lot of people are going Survival Hunter for PvP because they can, like, chain onto other guys and, like, launch into them.
Survival Hunters do a ton of damage
and all that kind of stuff.
I'm a marksman.
Which is fine, but that's the thing is, now it's a, do you know how to play your role and do what you're supposed to do? Because, like, that's the thing. We played one map last night, one of the Capture the Flag ones, and no one was going after the flag.
No, yeah. It was...
Which one?
The one after the one I missed. I came back and all of a sudden it was like
where we lost pretty bad.
Yeah,
like we couldn't even we'd get their flag, we'd make it not even a quarter way back and we'd be dead.
Yeah,
because no one was grabbing the flag or no one was,
that one.
Yeah,
or like you tried to grab the flag but there was no support with you.
Yeah, there's no one with you.
Tried cheetah move.
But that's what I mean. Like it just it wasn't working out. And then the weirdest Altric Valley I have ever been in. So that's that 40 versus 41. Essentially what happens, Tony, is there's a path on the right and a path on the left.
Yes.
The Horde stuff is all down this way.
Sure.
The Alliance stuff is all this way.
Seems balanced.
The Horde's job, it is. It's like they actually set the... So there's towers, graveyards, and garrisons.
Yep.
As you hit a flag in the tower's under attack. After so many minutes, the tower's destroyed.
Okay.
The whole piece to destroying all the towers is in their main base. At the end of the line is a big boss, and each tower has a boss. As you destroy a tower, that boss goes away.
Okay.
So by the end of it, if you've done everything right, all you have left is one guy at the end that you have to fight. So normally what happens is a race.
To defeat the towers.
Get to the end. And then if you die and you don't have the graveyards yet, you're pretty much on defense trying to click the flags in the tower to stop them from destroying towers so that their towers get destroyed first and you can hop in and do the fight and win. Yesterday's was the weirdest thing ever. We fought in the middle for most of the map.
Yeah. No one was progressing anywhere.
No one actually ever beat the boss.
We had a couple guys that snuck way back there.
So when there's also a resource counter. So when you destroy a tower, it takes off like 50 resources. When you when you capture a graveyard, it takes like 25 resources. Every time Dingy dies, it takes out 1 resource.
Yep. I die a lot.
Just him. So every time a person dies, it takes off 1 resource.
Well, that was once again though, is if you weren't in that middle battle, you had no support.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what they were pretty much holding on to was, we're just going to keep killing them and take that 500 counter down super slow.
It was a long game.
So it was a super long match. That was like an hour. It was at least an hour.
It?
That was nuts.
It took us a while.
Oh, I didn't feel like an hour.
That was
maybe
crazy.
because I kept dying so much.
Again, Altric Valley matches used to last like a week.
Yeah.
No.
It's real.
It's a dog.
That's totally...
It's a dog.
A wall.
Totally.
With a TV.
Totally real TV.
Look, I can.
Change the
Hold
channel.
on. Hold on.
Yeah, look at that.
Totally change the channel.
Good job, Tony. One more time, Tony. Just see, look at that. Oh yeah. Good job, Tony. So, but yeah, it was the weirdest fight because usually it's just a race. This one was legitimately like a battle. You don't believe us?
That's unrealistic.
Yeah, it was just a weird fight. Like I'm sitting there the whole time going, I don't understand.
But I guess if one team started going after the towers, it would be way easier to pick them off.
And that's what ended up happening. So we
guys
would
were
go
in a
up to
stalemate.
We were.
Yeah, we were.
And unfortunately, we were losing because most of our team was trying to break through to get to those towers and do the objectives, and they were just killing us.
Yeah.
So instead of grouping up in one mass group and just fighting them back.
Because we were kind of all split up.
Yeah.
Their group just stuck together to kill us all. And they're like a moving death ball, just
moving death ball.
Yeah.
And once they were down to like 100 resources, they started taking towers, and then we were done.
Yeah.
So it was like
we lost. They had less than 100 when we lost too.
They did because we had that one
we
guy.
had that one
who
guy
was
who
like
was
towers out.
Getting towers behind the scenes sort of thing. So
Pancake
yes,
likes-
there's also a dog.
Pancake was like, "What was that?" Doggy.
That's Pancake. Either way, that's what I've pretty much been up to this week. SteamWorld Dig 2 some more, and SteamWorld Heist. Still good games.
Still good games.
Very challenging. They get to be. Like SteamWorld Dig, once they think you know what you're doing and you have a bunch of moves, they're like, step up.
Step up.
We're adding acid now. Enjoy. So, that's me.
Cool.
Do you want to go next?
Sure. I played Street Fighter Anniversary Collection.
Whoop whoop.
Good
Yay.
golly, that game's awesome. I mean, games. If you haven't figured it out, it is the 30th anniversary. I think it's 31st this year, but it just happened to be last year. Either way, just for
30th.
For the sake of even numbers, it is the 30th anniversary for Street Fighter, and so they released a collection of all the Street Fighter arcade games up to Alpha Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, including the first Street Fighter game back in 1987. And that game is very janky. It is crazy. It is crazy. You can do your Hadoukens and Shoryukens and stuff like that, but the commands for them are super touchy.
Oh.
And if you do actually happen to land one of those hits, it's like 33% of your health in one hit. So that's kind of fun. It's fun to play. It's not obviously fun to play competitively, but it's awesome taking a look at all of these ports basically from all across the years. And it is arcade ports. It's not console ports of any of them. So it's literally straight arcade. Like you put in a quarter and you play. There's only trading modes available for the 4 online games, which I believe is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and I can never remember the 4th one.
Too much Street Fighter!
12 Street Fighter games in one convenient package. I did buy it for the Switch because I like the idea of being able to play it everywhere.
Yeah.
But the D-pad is not.
It's not
a fighting game D-pad.
Not a true D-pad.
So do you regret the buy?
Oh God, no! I definitely don't regret it because I
think the portability of having Street Fighter now, wherever you go, is.
And for me, as much as I love fighting games, I'm not super great at them. I mean, I like to think I'm not super great. I don't know.
You're better than us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you're better than the rest of the people at this table.
But in terms of like a competitive sequence, like seeing people, like yes,
they're nuts though.
They're gonna get the arcade stick. They're gonna play it on the PS4. They're gonna play it on the Xbox or even PC. But as a casual fighting game fan, it hits all of the scratches and itches that I've been looking for on a Switch.
And again, you can take it on the bus, you can take it on the pooper, you can take it on a walk, you can take it to the...
You can bust it out with 2 people with the 2 Joy-Cons. I do recommend putting the rails on them this time around because it is a 6-button fighter.
Yeah.
So you do need all the face buttons for the...
I usually put the rails on just for comfort.
Yeah.
You do. I don't know. For me, for the last couple times I do the Switch multiplayer stuff, I just kind of... I don't even worry about the rails.
Things.
Yeah, but for Street Fighter's case, you do need the shoulder buttons because they are your heavy attacks.
Wow.
But it's a marvel, engineering marvel, just because how quick you can get in between the different Street Fighter games.
Nice.
It's almost like in the game selection screen, there is a save state for each of the 12 games.
Oh, really?
And as soon as you hit the one go button on, say, Street Fighter 2 Turbo or whatever, it goes right into the character select screen.
Wow.
Like
Nice.
you, like
Don't have to worry about like
Nope.
all the
you can
starting
watch
animations.
You
that
can
kind of
watch
stuff.
the intro
Yeah.
for some of the later ones. Some of the later ones do have that like cinematic.
version,
You
yeah.
can watch that, but as soon as you get in, it's right away. As well
That's
as going
nice.
into rematches between different players, there is some sort of save state like magic happening because as soon as you hit the OK to rematch, it goes right back to the character select screen.
Wow.
So
it's
they-
very efficient.
It's very
convenient.
efficient, and it is again, it's an arcade port, so they don't have any of that back end stuff to worry about. On top of that being an anniversary collection, there is a sprite viewer, there is art book stuff on the actual console itself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can take a look at actually the design docs and the proposal docs
Cool.
that they presented to Capcom. Like, we want to make a fighting game. These are like our original designs, and it's kind of interesting to see how different that game could have been.
Now, is there video stuff? Because I thought I saw someone post a video,
There-
so that might just be on their YouTube.
It's just on the YouTube stuff. What is really cool is that it shows you the different character sprites between the different.
We talked about it in our newscast.
It's a game.
We don't play
We're
a
not
lot of
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Not
No.
this week.
Not this week. We did not.
No,
We did not.
We did not Fortnite this week.
We have not yet shopping carted because we know that's going to go well with us.
Two people.
We are so
It's
gonna.
gonna be a fight to see who's getting pushed.
Not if we can find two of them.
Yeah, then
It'll
we're
be
gonna
a
have
race.
He's cutting
races.
trees.
race to
It'll
cut the
be a race
trees.
to the trees. See?
Yeah.
He's gonna cut trees, and while the rest of us fight,
We'll
this-
land on the other end of the map, find two shopping carts, and then it'll be a race.
What's a
The
battle
two of us
royale?
can race you two. And
What's
yeah,
a battle
we'll-
royale?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys, you're leaving the safe zone.
What's the storm?
Is
Oh,
this a
we're
shopping
winning.
cart game?
Yeah. But we're winning. That's the next part to Fortnite. They'll have the Save the World Battle Royale shopping cart racer.
Yes.
Actually, after talking, like, do you think they could? Sorry, this is
No.
totally like off topic, but you know what? They should do a reverse battle, like have like a bomb drop in the
Royale,
middle,
you're not supposed
and
to
you have
kill
to run out
One?
instead of in.
I could see that.
You know what? I could honestly see Fortnite pulling something like that.
I could see
You're
that.
trapped at the corners.
No reverse.
Yeah, you get
By
trapped
the end
in
of
the
it,
corner.
Yeah,
you're
we're
on the
trapped at the
outskirts of them.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on
You're
the
trapped in the
outskirts.
corner.
But then again, that doesn't bring people together. It pushes people away from each other.
No, that's not a bad thing. Because eventually you only
If
have
it's like
it's
if
like-
it's a week long event, just
That'd
to
be
see
perfect.
just
It'd be like
Something.
Bomberman, where it's like you stay on the map long enough to
Oh yeah,
survive.
yeah.
Guys, this is my corner. I will stay here.
Pretty much.
Or what if it lands in your corner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, 'cause it doesn't necessarily have to land in the middle, it's just expanding
it's
out
just
from-
expanding outward from wherever it drops.
It's like a nuclear bomb that's.
Or they
it's
drop a
slowly-
couple of them and
it's-
they start.
oh yeah.
And they force you.
Because that's kind of what Radical Heights did. It was
it did.
really interesting.
It
where all of a
wasn't
sudden,
exactly
like,
as. It wasn't a circle. It
yeah,
was
you
like,
watched the map, and
it
all of a
was a
sudden
grid.
it was a grid, and one of the grids would go like yellow,
Yeah.
and you're like, it's like, hey, get out this zone. And you're like, well, but if I go up there, I'm trapped. Like, what if those
Yeah.
zones go yellow? Like, where's the safe zone? It's all over the place.
The answer is yes.
The answer is correct.
So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter. I really
I'm glad that they've done such a good job with it too, especially
Yeah.
after they tried releasing, that Street Fighter 2 game
Final Challenge. That game is still the same price as this other the anniversary.
with 12
Really?
games in it. Yeah.
With 12 games.
Wow.
And the fact that the only thing that makes the Final Challengers different is that it includes Evil Ryu and Violent Ken.
And
The
that,
same characters.
yeah.
Violent
They're the
Ken.
same. Yeah, that's their version of Evil Ryu in the Street Fighter mythos.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
They're always violent though.
Not like, well,
They're
it's
always
just what they
fighting.
named. It's just what
They're
they
always
named them,
fighting.
anyways, yeah.
Wasn't there some weird like
So-
first person mode in that weird?
There's also that
Yeah.
we don't talk about.
But yeah,
We don't-
again, it was
we
like
don't
you're launching your fireballs.
We don't
and
talk
stuff,
about
and
that.
it's-
That'd be interesting.
We don't talk about that.
Okay, sorry.
We don't talk about that in the street. In the
We can
fighting
talk about
game.
it later.
But that's what I mean. It's so
Like-
good that there's all this. At least Capcom seems to be learning.
Right, and I like that this one has the anniversary collection has a lot of visual additions you can do. You can have like the screen stretched out all across the screen. You can have TV filter. You can have arcade filter.
Nice.
You can have the cabinet around the screen,
Around the screen.
or a combination of any one of those. So I've been taking, and I know it's not people don't really like playing it like this, but I play with arcade border with the filter on top of it because it actually looks really really cool on some of those older arcade games to have that visual style. Because
Ooh, I don't know.
what was your favorite Atari game?
I don't know.
Pong.
All
Pong.
Space Invaders.
Also good.
Space Invaders.
Galaga?
Galaga also good. Galaga kicked butt.
Galaga.
Okay.
Thought of one.
Galaga's good.
Space Invaders is good too.
Space Invaders is good.
So yeah, I've been playing the Street Fighter. What else has I been playing?
I don't know.
Still playing God of War.
Yes.
God of War is.
It feels like you were loving that.
I am still really, really liking that. I've
Killing
gone
a lot
to
of gods.
I've killed. Yes.
I've killed. Yeah.
There are some Norse gods that I may have already killed. So
Cool.
Kratos
The
is
genocide has begun.
Kratos has started. So he's coming.
Genocide? Where's genocide?
Jesus, get your butt ready.
I honestly, like, when we play WoW, Brian, like, one time we had to kill a bunch of Murlocs or something. Like that. And Brian's like, we have enough. And I'm like, no, we don't.
It's just like getting more, just like
collecting them all. And Brian's like, we've killed them all. And I'm like, good.
Have we?
Have
we though?
There's one
Have
right
we
there.
though?
And we've killed them all. Good.
Respawn.
Brian's like,
Respawn.
are you saying genocide good? And I'm like, depends.
Depends.
Walk away as a bear.
So yeah, God of War is excellent. I've reached a actual huge turning point in the story, which has massive connections to the rest of the series.
Okay. So you have to play the rest of the series.
You don't have to play the rest of the series. Guys kills gods, killed his own family. That's all you need to know from the past. Like that's all you really the present at this moment that I've seen so far. But man, that game still plays really, really well. And there is a set of weapons that I've picked up. I can't talk about it due to spoilers, but it's so.
Swords again.
I can't talk about it.
Thor's hammer.
But yes, you get Mjolnir.
Yes.
Actually, that would.
Storm.
I wouldn't. That would be pretty cool if I picked up Mjolnir.
I'm not excited for Black Ops 4. Battlefield 5
Battlefield
is going to
5.
be
We're
wicked.
on the Battlefield 5 ship.
Yep.
Yeah, we're on the battlefield.
Because a single player.
We need to get you good video cards so we can play it on a PC.
Oh.
No, he'll play it on.
I'll play that on the PlayStation.
No. So yeah, God of War is still.
My
good.
shooters will stay on the PlayStation.
I picked up a set of.
There'll be cross-platform.
Maybe.
It's EA. I think I've struck a balance now with the gear in the game.
Not that I'd be in any rush to buy Battlefield.
No, I'm not.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
But yeah, I finally found some actual gear that keeps me alive a little bit longer.
Oh,
That's
nice.
usually a good trick in an
That's
RPG
good.
or
So
action game
don't.
armor.
So still focus on the kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still focus on
Can the
his
kids skill?
Yeah, his bow and arrows. He now shoots 4 arrows for me right now. Which
Fire arrows.
he has
Light arrows.
He shoots regular arrows, light arrows, and electricity arrows from right where I am right now.
What about ice arrows?
Ice arrows, yeah.
Come on.
Okay, there's Zelda.
Right? It's the only 3 arrows you need: light,
Poison
fire,
arrows.
ice.
Poison arrows.
And like to
No, you need
to be
exploding
tossed.
arrows now.
Yes.
Oh, bomb arrows.
Bomb arrows.
Eh.
Bomb arrows
No,
are
those
good.
have been around long enough.
Yeah.
Bomb
You used to have
arrows.
to drop the bomb
Yeah,
and then fire the arrow.
shoot
Yeah.
the bomb. I remember that.
Yeah. The old,
Yeah.
the old Game Boy
The
games
old
where it's
Game
like,
Boys.
But yeah, like God of War is super polished,
Ooh.
super good.
No
Well,
bugs
when
or anything, or
I did encounter one really kooky collision bug, but it fixed itself in like 10 seconds.
well, if Sony does the right thing and releases a Spider-Man combo
I
pack,
could,
Yeah.
possibly get a PS4.
Oh yeah, this is on the.
Then you can come join me for shooters.
Because I would want, like, I want
like
to try
a
Horizon
keyboard
Zero.
and mouse.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's so comfy.
It's the best way to play first-person shooters.
Yeah. So much easier.
It's
Look right, look left. Look right, look left.
Hold on, spin around really quick.
Yeah. No,
That's where I missed the ball inside the mouse. Because it
Yeah.
would keep spinning. You just whiz!
Just like, "Ee."
Classic.
Or you got one of those weird mice that some people had where you like thumbed
Oh,
the
yeah.
ball.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember that.
I have one of those at work.
Those old Logitech ones.
Yeah, those old because you
Yeah.
could legit just like.
I should bring it
And
home.
just spin in a circle.
I should bring it home from work just to try it out.
I remember those old Age of Empire games when you had to like move your screen far. You just go like
Yeah.
you just roll it as fast as you can. Or keep
Who needs hotkeys?
What's a hotkey? I am the hotkey.
It's like one of those wind-up cars where you
Yeah,
the same
where
thing.
you
You're
just
just like sitting there with your mouse, like
Aren't you ever gonna release it? No. It'll get faster.
Yeah.
The more I do this, the faster it'll go. A whole recess. You're just like,
Science.
this thing's gonna be like a rocket.
Science. So cool.
So fast.
So I've been playing that. I touched a little bit of Pokemon Quest. I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it some more.
I know.
Oh,
It's,
continue.
I don't think so.
It's a quick pick and play.
Yeah,
I believe when
I
it
think
comes out on the phone,
I'll be more inclined to play
I'll
it
be
on the
more
phone.
inclined to
Is it
actually-
coming out on the phone?
Yes,
Yes.
there's a
it
mobile
is.
version coming out.
That's
like
why when
next
you guys
month.
were talking, like, it's on the Switch now, I'm like, no, they said it was on it'll come out later on the phone. And
I'll probably play it on my phone more
yeah,
too.
the phone is probably my preferred platform. Speaking of phone games, I tried a new phone game.
Uh-oh.
Jurassic World Alive.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I saw that. Yep.
So that is their new.
That
That is their Jurassic World Pokemon Go style
Yes.
game.
Do you catch the?
So how it works?
Dinosaurs?
So how the dinosaurs work? How it works is that
Ooh,
you
trains.
load the game up, and there are dinosaurs that literally spawn around you.
Yep.
Whether or not you're in the radius of which you can interact with them.
So you
doesn't-
die right off the bat.
Hmm?
So you die
As a
right off the
T-Rex
bat.
just eats
Yes,
you.
exactly. So how it works is you can click on the dinosaur, and you actually launch a drone to try and shoot darts at the dinosaur, which gathers their DNA.
No, I saw.
And so your goal is to basically
Okay,
get
it looks
like Pokemon.
get as much DNA strands from the dinosaurs so that you can recreate that dinosaur in your lab.
As your pet.
Yes. And so it's got,
So it's a bit different.
so I mean, for example, you'll see a Velociraptor on the map. You'll go click. Yes, I want some of the DNA from that Velociraptor. You'll have about 10, 15 seconds to try and shoot darts from this drone. You may only get 20 DNA strands, and you might need 50 to get an actual Velociraptor.
So it just collects.
So just collect stuff.
Yeah.
So and it does do the Pokemon Go stuff where there's a stop over there, or not a stop, but a place that
Yeah.
you can refill on.
Don't lie,
darts.
it's a stop.
darts.
Whatever.
So is this partnered again with Niantic?
It is not partnered with an Niantic because there is no stop next to my work. I think what they did, it is actually because there's no indication that what they're doing, like those points are, is actual real world location. It just happens to be sporadic on the world.
The two N's stand for News Network.
Oh, yes.
News Network.
Barrel Roll News Network, which we came up with long ago.
Yes, eons.
That was the best of the names we came up with.
We had some pretty rough
There were some
names.
very bad names.
So, but yeah, I've been playing Jurassic World. I haven't actually had a lot of time to actually go out and play the game
Yeah.
because it is like those, real world games. You have to go out and
The
adventure.
augmented reality.
But I've been so busy with Pokemon Go stuff outside that I need to do some of those stuff in the game first. I think maybe sometime this
See,
week.
that would be my thing. Is I already have the Pokemon
Yeah.
Go. I don't need to.
right, and
This
that's
is
Keep
for the
going.
dinosaur fans out there.
But the thing is,
My cousin.
there's a few pros to this game. It looks amazing.
It looks nice.
It actually
which
the
means
di-
it's going to drain my battery even faster.
the dinosaurs actually are well modeled because right now I think I have like a Velociraptor or something like that in my actual collection,
Yeah.
and each dinosaur looks like you can have an AR shot with them. So it actually does the AR core stuff with an Android, where it actually marks on the ground, like, in the background. It marks on the ground where the dinosaur should be, and you can actually walk up to.
I love that part of my Pixel camera,
that's
like
cool.
the
Yeah.
Google camera.
Yeah, it's basically like the
Drop,
stickers. It's like
yeah.
the stickers.
Oh.
Whereas to have that feature in Pokemon Go, you actually need to have an iPhone. You can't. It doesn't work on Androids, which
Oh.
always boggles my mind that it works in Jurassic World, but not in Pokemon Go
Yeah.
on an Android.
Why can't they make it work?
Money.
Ah.
I think a lot of that has to do with Apple giving money to Niantic. Are you putting BB-8 on the ground?
No, there's a porg on the table.
He's so cute. Uh-oh.
We're petting virtual
We're petting-
things. So yeah, that's the one advantage that I do really like about Jurassic World Alive is that as a presentation game, as the presentation is, it looks really good. It plays fairly well. What I really don't like about it is a subscription style game where it's like, oh, you want to extend your catch radius, give us more money.
Oh,
It's one of those kind of games where it's like every 6
Oh.
hours, come back and unlock your box, and you get more resources.
No,
Cool,
thank you.
Cool.
Cool.
No.
cool.
No.
So it's very.
It's very pay to winny kind of thing. I haven't. There apparently is a PvP combat style in the game where you collect X amount of dinosaurs and then you can actually pit them together because they actually have attacks.
Oh,
in
okay.
the game, they Velociraptors obviously like bite and claw and stuff.
Wouldn't
like
that be all of them?
Yeah, they all have a thing. They all.
Except the spitter.
Well, no, like for example, the Triceratops would have like maybe a defensive
Yeah.
attack or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played a whole lot of it yet.
Ankylosaurus could whip him with his
Right.
tail ball.
And each dinosaur, there's a lot of rarities. There's
Bite, claw.
obviously from common to epic.
Yeah.
I've only encountered rare ones at the point, like up to rare, obviously.
Yeah.
The nice thing about it is that when you load the game, even though, because how Pokemon Go works is Pokemon will only spawn around you if you're in that radius.
Yeah.
With Jurassic World Live, you can see way off in the distance, oh, there's a dinosaur over there.
Oh, so we're gonna walk that
But
direction.
at least I know that that's over there.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, oh, I don't want to go for the dinosaur. I'm not gonna. It's not rare for me.
Yeah.
There's no sense in me going to search it
I've
out.
accepted their terms of service. I hope they don't update their privacy policy.
So yeah, there's that pay-to-win style thing.
Kinda
Like,
thing.
you're a VIP Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
member. Your radius is bigger. You have even more rare
Woohoo.
stuff coming out of boxes. I don't.
I think that's the piece that kills me the most with mobile games. And I mean, we just talked about this with Pokemon Quest is just the ways that they're trying to get the microtransactions out of you, and it's just like, I want games.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's how Pokemon Go has been so successful is that it's not incredibly intrusive.
I never think to spend any money on Pokemon Go.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
I
don't
have
need
ne-
to.
I've
You can
never
have
spent a
just
penny.
the same amount of of a gameplay experience
Yeah.
as someone who does spend money on
Money on
Pokemon
it.
Go.
Yeah.
Like you have literally the same.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Jurassic World Live or Pokemon Quest, the microtransactions seem
It's
so
glaringly
intrusive.
obvious.
Yeah. You
Like
can only
Pokemon-
game so much.
And especially with
until-
Pokemon Go, you get daily coins if you're
Yeah.
if you're dedicated enough to hold gyms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if you're into it, and if you just want to go and collect stuff,
I know-
go out for a nice walk.
I just read a story-
collect some
Yeah.
Pokeballs and
I just read a story recently, like someone hit level 40 without paying a single dime in Pokemon Go. Like they hit the level
Yeah.
cap in Pokemon Go by just doing daily stuff.
daily stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like that's what bugs me about most mobile games is there's a pay stop. And at one point, even Disney Emoji with these competitions they're doing, in the last 2 hours of Emoji Blitz, and they're like, there's 2 hours left in this event. They'll actually allow you to buy unlimited lives,
Oh, that's blatant.
but
Wow.
for that 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw it, they're like, buy infinite lives, and I'm like, finally.
No.
Like, I will give you. I have spent countless hours on this game. I will give you guys $12 if I can just play.
Yeah.
Like when
Right.
I actually want to sit there and play a little puzzle game, like I will sit there and play your little puzzle game.
And I think
and unlock
Picross
emojis.
3D was like that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, pay for more puzzles.
The best game ever. I still have it. I'm not sure if it's still on my phone, but I usually install it on my stuff. Is Triple Town. Same thing. Is you had so much energy, so you'd have so many moves, and the whole point was to connect grass together to make a bush, bushes together to make a tree, trees together to make a house, houses together to make a bigger house, and then there's these little bears that show up, and if you put 3 bears together, or every time you trapped a bear.
Goldilocks.
No, every time you trapped a bear, you got a gravestone if you trapped a bear. If you got 3 gravestones together, made a church. If you put 3 churches together, you got... So you had to fill in this tiny little grid map to make as many pieces as you could, and each, like, the mega churches were worth a fortune, and,
Yeah.
houses were worth X amount, and that kind of stuff.
I've never played Doodle God.
I don't think we've played that game.
No.
Nope. So either way, Triple Town, so you get to the end of your moves, and they're like, okay, you can either wait this much time, or you can give us $4 and never see us, like, we'll never bug you again, we'll never you pay money again, you're good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
It's like those lifetime subscriptions to all those MMOs.
well, but yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm like, $4? Like,
Sure.
I've been playing this game now for the last 3 hours. Just have a...
Screw your dick.
I know, chords are hard for you, Pancake.
She didn't push any buttons, did she?
No, I just checked that.
And so yeah, like there's different levels of boxes that you can pay for. The VIP you get if you join their subscription service.
I think the subscription service is the wrong way. I think it's
Oh yes,
like,
absolutely.
hey, give us money.
So for example, you see in the distance there's a dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously I can't do anything, but if I click onto it,
You know what it is?
yeah. So it'll tell you what it is, even if it's common or uncommon. So you have to move closer to interact
Is that
with
supposed to be Bryce Dallas Howard?
I think so.
it. Yes, also that's another negative about this game is that it
Hey.
is very like you guys like Jurassic World, right? It's got
I've
Chris
seen the
Pratt.
movie.
It's got Chris Pratt. If you
Jeff
click a button,
Goldblum.
you can watch a trailer for the new movie, guys. Come on, you guys like Jurassic World, right? And I'm sitting here in the back of my mind, like, I like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, not because these are great actors, because they're good movies.
Yeah.
Well, most of them, anyways.
This question came up last week too.
What was the first game you played?
No, what was our favorite game was the question last week. First
No,
game
that
I
was the
ever...
first
Oh,
game. It
no,
was the
first
first
game,
game.
yeah.
Honestly,
Duck
probably
Hunt.
Super Mario Brothers.
I was going to say Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario
Something
Brothers
like
for
that,
me.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very much in your face of like, hey, you guys like Chris Pratt? Here's a warning from Chris Pratt to tell you that you're like driving. Don't play this game. And it's got a picture of him going like, from the first movie or Jurassic World movie.
Oh, and he's like telling Blue to...
He's like,
Stop, Raptor! I'm not driving a Raptor. What do you care, Chris?
I am a raptor. I am the raptor.
I don't think I'd jump into this.
No, and honestly, I'll give it a few more like actual go out and play.
Yeah.
I think obviously to get an idea of what this game is. And yeah, there are places that you can refill on
Nice
resources. They call them supply drops, and so you basically spin it to figure
Wherever
out
it stops is
right.
what you get.
And obviously, there's a VIP section that gets added if you're
It's
on
only,
VIP.
like, they give you 3 starter dinosaurs.
Do they?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, the 3 of them just spawned around the house.
Oh yes, you get one.
You're
star.
surrounded. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, there's a raptor, a Tyrannosaurus, and something else that looked like a smaller T-Rex outside.
I definitely picked the Velociraptor.
I picked the Velociraptor
I'll
because
go with T-Rex.
it wasn't
No.
actually a T-Rex. It was something similar.
Allosaurus, maybe. I don't know.
Something.
Albertosaurus.
I'd be interested to
That'd be
see
weird.
like if they actually got actual dinosaurs in this. Obviously, they have the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World, but
Get an Indominus Rex, own the game.
yeah, basically. But yeah, like even looking at some
Are
like,
there gym battles?
no.
I have created a Velociraptor,
But even
everybody.
if you look at the character model, it actually looks really
It looks
good.
nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm staring at the same thing.
You're staring at his butt.
The texture's quite nice.
Like it
look-
actually looks
I've
good.
leveled up to level 2! And I got an incubator.
No, you didn't.
It just said incubator leveled up.
I don't know what this game is.
Guys, they don't have buttholes. Not realistic enough.
Yeah.
You can hatch.
Can you hatch dinosaurs?
Do you want a dinosaur, Dougie?
Would you like a dinosaur?
And so yeah, like there's a supply drop right around your corner here, and I know there's nothing there, but it's there.
That is down my street.
That is down your. It's like
Wow, my neighbors must be popular.
yes, with the dinosaur community, right?
Yep.
No.
Oh yeah,
It's a
that's
puppy.
a weird place for a supply drop.
Stay down.
Or some sort of landmark.
I love you,
Because
Brian.
at least in
The
Pokemon Go,
computer.
hey, puppy. There you go. See,
Sit.
Jump across the table.
attack. So yeah, I toying around with that, and it is very the microtransactions are very in your face.
Oh.
So
That
yeah, you
kinda
just
sucks.
collect. Yeah, if you join the VIP, you get that. one.
$13 a month?
Yeah,
WoW costs
WoW costs-
$13 a month.
I think I would have it better.
I have a 6-month subscription. WoW costs me
I do.
$13 a month.
I thought you bought a lifetime subscription.
I
If they
yearly.
offered those, I would have one.
I thought they did.
I have
No.
a monthly.
Oh.
I think it's
Oh,
like,
yours is
I think it's
monthly?
like 18.
Yeah, if you go for 6 months, it gets cheaper.
18, 19, something like that.
Yeah, I went for the 6-month one as well.
Yeah, if WoW offered a
Nick
lifetime
did it.
subscription, Tony, I would have been there years ago.
Star Trek Online now offered theirs.
In all honesty, I forgot what game came out, and I'm like, oh man, like the lifetime subscription to this MMO is actually fairly cheap.
And you think about it. Okay, so I was actually reading an article about
Right.
Star Wars Online or Star Trek Online and their online subscription,
Yeah.
the lifetime one. I think it's like $300. It was
Yeah.
$300, and it is the best investment that you will never play. Because if you really think about it,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, if I were to have been paying per month ever since it's released, I would have been paying way more than $300. If it's like say a $20 game a month,
Yeah.
like you think about it, yeah, I'm now saving money by not playing this game rather than having an active subscription and not playing for it.
Lifetime subscription.
You just drop a straight $300 on because I was reading the guy's articles like this is the best game I've never played. And I paid for it once.
Oh.
He's
He's
Nick,
mathing.
Nick is mathing. Don't try too hard.
Don't hurt him.
You don't want to know what.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a big number that you've spent? Uh-huh. 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 Now,
Don't look at that number.
He's like, don't nobody look.
delete.
Okay, so 14 years it's been out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
pay every 2 months, or
Yeah.
every 6 months, sorry. So that's
Yeah.
times 2, yes?
Yep.
Doing my
Yeah.
math properly here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Excellent. I pay $60 every 2 months.
Nah.
$1,680.
But
Since
that's over
launch?
14 years.
Over 14 years.
So that's less than
Divided by 14. It's
Less than a
120 a
fee.
year.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
And that's
$10 a month.
To me, I'm fine. Like I've always been fine with my WoW subscription because mostly I have played it.
But then you think of another game like Star Wars or Star Trek Online. Who actually plays?
Yeah, who would?
Right.
No one.
No one.
No one.
Yeah.
But yes, that's my shtick. With WoW, yes, I've spent a fortune, and yes, if they would have had a $300 lifetime subscription, I would have been on there like, no.
I think
business.
everyone.
Yeah.
I think people they would still be getting subscriptions to a lifetime. Even I think
You know what? I buy more than one at that point. I've already spent $1,600 on this game, dropping $300 every 5 years to create like a second account to get some kind of partner benefit.
And you even think even if it wasn't 300, maybe it was like 500.
Yeah.
Like people would still.
Again, I would have saved money by now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, that one, yes, it's less than $10 a month essentially. It's my entertainment.
And the thing is, like, you actually play it, whereas something like a online game that no one actually. Screw your computer.
You're in trouble.
Puppy's in trouble.
You have to stop.
So yeah,
Is that all you've been playing?
Been playing that. I watched Kimmy Schmidt season
okay.
3.
Yeah.
I'm on episode 4, and it's a really, really different show now. I mean, they still make fun of the bunker. They still have a lot of bunker jokes in that show. They filmed a lot of sequences outside of the bunker when they first got released.
Yeah.
Like news camera sequences, and I thought they really go into it really funny, really hard. Because have you guys actually watched any of Kimmy Schmidt?
Part of season 1.
Yep.
So there was a joke when they were in the bunker that they didn't actually have any mirrors.
Oh,
So they didn't actually know what
they
they
looked
looked like. So they had to describe it. They had to like draw it on like with a crayon on paper. This is what you look like. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. And so they actually play on that where when Kimmy's like, oh, do you have a mirror to like one of the news reporters? Like, oh, I want to see what I look like. She looks at it and goes, no, I wanted a mirror. I asked for a mirror, not a picture. They have a episode in the middle where it kind of spoofs How to Make a Murderer.
Oh,
That
yeah.
a Netflix documentary talking. I don't actually know who it was talking about, but it was
don't know.
the entire episode was filmed as a documentary to see if they can get the passenger, the guy, the crazy guy that locked him in a bunker, actually free. And so the entire show is like, I think that's going to be the overall character arc. The story arc is that he will go free at the end of this season because of whatever crazy plot.
Well, next season's supposed to be the last one, isn't it?
Right. Well, I mean, I think they're advertising this as the first half of the last season. I think they're splitting the fourth season up into 2 parts. My understanding? I don't know. Go.
Tally ho.
I don't want to.
She's like, I don't want to be over there. I want to be with you guys.
So yeah, no, I'm really, really digging that. The I'm trying to think like the other really dumb episodes that I've seen so far. What other ones have I seen?
You can create hybrid dinosaurs.
Sure.
There's a hybrid button.
You have to fuse them?
Sure.
Oh god.
Who? What do you get?
They make fun of binge watching Netflix shows.
I love it when Netflix shows do that.
So
A Series of Unfortunate Events did that like a
Yeah,
ton.
yeah, they did it a lot.
The joke in the episode was, oh, Kimmy's got this weekend off because now she's working for a tech company that's not Google.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like, what is the GizTube? Is the name of the company that she ends up working for, and she apparently has a weekend off. She's going to Titus like, I've only known working. Like, what do I do now? Well, Kimmy, wine, binge, and Houseflix, because Houseflix is their Netflix. In this show. And literally the joke is like, she's like, oh, I'm never gonna, I can't sit through all this. Camera cuts to like 9 seasons later. Titus is like on the couch. He's like, and Kimmy's like, I'm gonna go to work now, because it didn't phase her at all because bunker.
Oh yeah.
No, I really, really like this show. It's super smart. It's much better than the last season so far.
That's good.
But yeah, that's
Stop touching dinosaurs.
Touch the dinosaur.
Dinosaur was on his hand.
Was it the Velociraptor on his hand?
Yeah.
You can actually walk up to them now too, which you can't do in Pokemon Go. Actually, what I like about Jurassic World is that you can actually look at them in the AR viewer outside of the capture screen.
Which I believe is I'm surprised Pokemon hasn't done that yet. With the people that love
AR
doing
pictures.
all the weird AR pictures where they're like, they find an execute and they're like, must find frying pan. like trying to get those perfect pictures.
Yeah.
The funny thing about, and this is a side news story, with the Pokemon Let's Go announcement, they released more Alolan Executor into the Pokemon Go. And so the big joke is that, he's so freaking tall you can't see him in the capture screen. Well, if you play with the AR Plus mode on the iPhone, you can actually look up, and he actually is 12 feet tall.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because
I never tried that.
We don't have iPhones. Well,
I do.
Your iPhone doesn't do AR
do
Plus.
the AR.
Your phone doesn't do AR Plus either.
AR?
AR Plus, which is the one where you can actually lock the Pokemon in a section.
Yeah.
So, someone actually posted a picture on social media. It's like, my friend is like 5 feet, like 11 inches tall, and here's a picture of him next to the Alolan Executor, and like his head gets cut off because he needs to still like move the phone upwards to get the top of the Alolan Executor.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So I thought that was a fun trick.
Yeah.
But of course we're on Android, so I'm like, all I see is his ass. All I see is his ass.
All the time.
So yeah, I really am looking forward to having an AR mode for Pokemon that I've caught.
Yeah.
Or at least for our
nice.
Pokedex.
Yeah.
Not even just Pokemon that we've caught. Like, look at this one in the Pokedex in the real world. It's like, that's cool. What if I transferred all of them? Well, you can still do it because, you're an idiot.
Gotta keep at least one of everything. Come on.
Yeah.
My bag space is so low. I have like 16 Ho-Ohs right now, okay?
Get rid of them.
No.
You only need one.
I need
one Ho-Oh.
I need a shiny one.
Just collecting more of them make a shiny one.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
So get rid of 15 of them.
But I need the candies, and they're actually pretty strong.
They were actually get you candies
no,
if you transfer
you only
them.
get one candy if
so
you transfer.
What? It's still one better than what you had before.
He's waiting for one of those days where you get like triple the candy
when you transfer.
Oh.
I know what he's waiting for.
Just do it.
We've talked about Pokemon Go enough that I know that.
That's why I have like legions of legendary Pokemon.
Because one day,
not to take over the world, but
get more candy. That's my
so
plot.
You can chop them up.
Plot
and
twist.
Get more candy out of them.
Grind them into the meat grinder for candy. Putting Ho-Ohs into grinders.
New KFC version.
Fried chicken. It fries itself. Get it? Because he's a fire.
It's fire.
And he's a bird. Next!
Is that all you played?
Yes, I did. That's all I've had.
Do you want to go next?
I don't care.
Okay. I guess I could.
All right, we're done.
You can rock, paper, scissors if you want.
Just kidding.
Did WoW.
We did.
We talked about that.
We
Pokemon Quest we talked about.
Yes.
I'm on. I'm this.
What level are you
at? Level 3.
Okay.
Oh.
I jump back and forth between 2 and 3, so I don't know where I am.
I just finished level 2.
I'm going through the actual order.
Right now, 2 is an advantage for me because I'm fire.
But you gotta catch a grass Pokemon for level 3.
Yeah, except I guess go in with total fire in there and see how that goes.
It's against water Pokemon, dude.
I know. I've done 2 levels of it.
Okay, if it helps. I have not found that there is a type difference other than it just gives you a bonus.
The bonus, yeah. That's it. That's all I found too.
Like my Growlithe has made it through all
I've survived it. Like
all of level 2.
Maybe my guys die and then they come back.
Yeah, but I have not found a type advantage in the actual map.
Yeah.
Other than, yes, at the beginning.
Plus
goes,
5.
Yeah. You'll get extra damage if you come in with a grass Pokemon. And I'm like,
woo! We talked Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
Still playing that. I caught an Alolan Executor.
Oh, I got so many of them.
There's so many. They're so cool.
Articuno's out now.
I do suggest don't transfer them because there's no way to evolve into one yet.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I only have the one.
You got super amount of candies with it.
I only want to collect.
I logged in. It was outside my house. I threw a Pokeball.
You only get one candy if you transfer Pokemon.
But catching them was like 6.
You get 3.
6.
Only on community days or something you get 6.
No, I got more. I got
or
more
catching.
Or
you use the Pineapple.
Yeah.
No, I didn't use the Pineapple.
Dude, you only get 3 if it's an evolved Pokemon.
Oh, God, I know. Other games that I don't really feel like talking about that I played was that new Dragon Ball mobile game.
You don't feel like talking
it's
about it?
It's actually like okay. Well, that's because it's nice.
You're talking about it right now.
It's all right.
Well, I thought I'd mention it just to like give it a quick review of like it's good looking. The graphics are actually really nice for that game.
Yeah.
But it just gets boring after a while for me.
Yeah.
So kind of thing.
You Geodude.
This is great.
Yes. No.
Rolls credits.
Still been playing Bayonetta, which is it's growing on me. I like it more. I know last time
Still
I was
have
on
to
here.
play it on your own time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't get the TV for it, so
It is a fun action game.
it is fun.
Do you like Devil May Cry? It's like
I
Devil
never
May Cry.
actually played Devil May
You
Cry,
now play Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
It's basically Devil May Cry.
so
Give or
like
take.
I find it kind of
Who started this?
just
channel?
always doing the combos is kind of like
Yes.
We just kind of filled in after a while.
yeah. Mostly you.
Hey, if
though.
it helps, not long after a while.
I can't keep track of that.
You guys were both in like.
I can't
very
keep track of
early-
it though.
Very early
Like
things.
when
We
you
did it
first
on the
started,
couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or when the reboot came.
No,
No.
both. When the reboot came, everybody was very on board. Like when we came
And then
back.
people started.
At the very beginning, though, of everything, when we were on that couch with a
Who's
video
Graham?
Video
recording.
recording.
Also,
Record.
like some guy named Graham.
Some guy named
So yeah, Graham, who'd watch things.
But legitimately, like when I was going through stuff that one time, numbering videos and going through stuff.
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, I'm like, oh, they showed up way earlier than I thought they did. Because I remember you filmed with us at school quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how that
I
happened.
Concordia.
I don't remember how that happened. Why was he at school with us?
Because
we
I
were
to
filming
film.
at school.
But
I
why
said
would
you
you
guys
show
told
up?
me there.
Yeah,
I was never
So I
here
made
when
it
you guys were
there.
doing it at the
because
school.
filming at the school was prettier than filming against the couch.
Also, we were always there.
And yeah, that's where we live.
Yeah.
Chris, come find us.
Hello. Okay, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. So yeah, Bayonetta's growing on me. I like this where the story's headed.
There's a story.
No. Naked witch lady with
Make
hair.
it witch lady with hair.
But reading all the little like backgrounds of
Oh,
in those
yeah,
books,
there's
there's some lore there, and it's
I really
kinda cool.
appreciate that in writing. Like, kudos to people who make those articles.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
news clippings.
We're
and-
brothers at heart,
Yes.
not actually biological.
No,
sure.
no biological relations at all.
He's
in
my
this room.
distant cousin-in-law, technically.
Technically, that is true.
It's not wrong. Okay.
If people follow that,
Technically, Brian is on my family tree.
Yeah,
that was my goal. That was my
Only-
goal since grade 5.
Only took how many years? We are now somehow related.
But other than that, it's growing on me. I don't think I'll get Bayonetta 2.
Oh, you didn't get the 1 and 2 comics?
No, I just got 1 at first just to see how I would like it.
I think 2 is.
2 is better?
Holds
Yeah.
better.
Oh, okay. So
Because
maybe,
1 was
maybe
basically
try it
an
out.
experiment for them to be like, oh, can we make a Devil May Cry clone that's not that's not Dante?
That's not Dante. So definitely maybe give Bayonetta 2 a try.
I think 2 is holds up a little.
Yeah, and I would like to see if they do have something at E3 about Bayonetta 3.
They
Interesting. Hey, there's one that they could have kept hidden.
Yes, maybe.
Like no pre-order bonus at this point, but just all of a sudden, like her, a foot stomping on the ground and
Something,
you
yeah.
know,
See if there's maybe
that's
the
like
game
that-
mechanics are a
we
bit
put that
different.
right next to Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Because I feel like the game mechanics for Bayonetta is a bit like still, it gets boring.
If you're into that stuff,
Great.
you dig it.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then or you find it boring after like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
You
probably
trying
not.
to find us?
Oh, okay, that's the beginning. That's Graham. Well,
Who's that?
who dat?
Who dat? Who dare?
You guys all have. Yes, we're all blind.
Well, I could see without them.
Blind.
Who's that? Who said that?
I could see without them.
Back in 2011,
What's that? Who said that?
you guys all have glasses.
Astute.
Yeah,
Astute.
We are all blind. Graham.
You guys look so young.
Are you saying a little old now? Like, what's the?
Well, that is what 2011.
Shut up.
7 years ago?
Shut up.
So far ago.
Oh, Graham.
Let's not do this right now.
I'm feeling old.
Let's not do that.
Then I watched The Greatest Showman on no, I rented it through
Oh.
Shaw on Demand. Greatest Showman.
You're renting stuff.
Yeah.
I rent stuff.
It was pretty
I always
good.
get
Google Play,
Long-
man.
I really want to see that.
I
really
get
want to
teased with
see
it, and then I just use my Android box.
Android box. Yeah.
I rewatched Infinity War because of that. No, I'm not condoning it or promoting it, but man, there's a really good rip up there, really for
good.
Infinity War. A really good one.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, so that movie was pretty good actually. It was a really good musical. I also bought the soundtrack, and I've listened to that soundtrack like 50 times. So, yes,
Bless
Pancake. And then the significant other and I have been rewatching Sherlock, with Benedict Cumberbatch
How can
and
you
Martin.
not watch it? It's
It's such a good show.
It's only 3 episodes per season.
Yep.
I think I'm still on episode 2 of season 1.
Me too.
They're really
It's
good.
so
They're
easy
really
to watch.
good.
They're so
No,
short.
it's a movie.
It's
so
only
It's like,
anytime.
well, it is like
Yeah.
a movie,
No,
but
it's 3 episodes a season. That's all you need to know.
it's an hour and a half an episode.
No,
though.
you don't need to tell them that.
I already know
I
that.
already know that. That's
It's
why
only
I'm still on that
it's easy
episode.
to
Yeah.
watch.
I
It's
watched
only an
episode
hour and a
1.
half.
But that show is so good.
It's so smart.
It's so well done, and just
I love BBC for.
yeah.
I will rewatch it and expect Benedict Cumberbatch to do magic.
He
He
almost does.
technically does.
He kind
yeah.
of does.
He kind of does.
His brain's kind of
His
crazy.
brain is
Have
so
you
awesome.
ever heard a dog fart is now the question.
Yes.
I've
A
never
lot
heard
of
For I
times.
own a dog.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I have.
I've
They're,
also smelt a
they're
dog
like
fart.
human farts. They
Yeah.
sound exactly like human farts.
It's almost like the same mechanisms are involved. In
Yeah.
both.
They might smell a bit different because they have those anal glands that, sometimes
Anal
expel
glands?
themselves.
He was going to become a vet, if that helps it. And he went to school for some of that
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Anal glands.
And I volunteered at a
This
vet
is
clinic where you
almost
had
like
to
the
expel
health
anal
talk
glands
this
when they
week.
got plugged, and those were awful. Kind of
Welcome
satisfied
to the
when they go.
post-credit show.
You're not selling the position.
Yeah.
See, I'm farther in than what you think.
When did I first start?
I don't know. I'm missing videos. I feel like.
I know when I was in school, I was like, I lived under a rock. No, I did not do anything
I forgot you
outside.
existed, but that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I
So-
forgot I existed too because I didn't do anything
that-
outside of my house.
Is that all you played?
Oh,
I didn't play anything when I was in school.
Let's not watch that.
The good old.
I was
No,
just-
like right
it's-
now this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yes.
Let's just
Well, I was in school. I don't know what I played.
Games.
Trying to keep the show
I played
focused here.
homework and study. Oh yes, I am done.
What up?
In a nutshell.
What up? What did you do?
Jeez. I
Violence.
yeah. He hit me. Workplace abuse.
This is not a place of work. You have volunteered to be
I was
here.
gonna say,
Claim it.
we're not paying you.
You have volunteered to
You
be
don't even get
beaten.
paid.
I'm not making money. None of you are making money.
I tried the Stanley Parable.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I tried a bunch of
So
different endings.
good. So good.
I haven't yet to
I didn't
try.
actually expect that game to end that quick. If you actually
doesn't.
follow him,
Oh, you followed
You
him?
followed.
Why would you?
I
you're
wanted
such
to
a sheep.
experiment.
You're such a sheep.
I wanted to experiment.
You can follow him.
Yes.
Why would you do
And you
that?
actually get out.
Sheep.
Oh.
Wait, I gotta play that game. There's a way out.
Yes. Just
No.
follow his directions.
Yeah,
every
the way out
single
is
one
the
of them.
way in.
Just follow his directions.
Sheep.
I did break him though after.
Oh yeah.
We go through the right, and the hallways collapsed.
Stanley took the door on the left.
I was so thin. 6 years
Brian?
ago.
Tony doesn't like looking at this.
I was a.
Why are we doing this?
Because I wanted to know when they started.
I didn't eat very much in my school days. And then you graduate and get a job.
Get money.
You
get
eat
money
and
to
you
eat.
You can eat with the realization when you can eat
Oh yeah, Jonathan
anything.
too.
Harrison.
Oh, Harrison,
yeah,
that's
Harrison.
his
Who the
name.
hell's Harrison?
I don't know. These people that keep showing up. Look at that.
But yeah, it's really interesting. That game.
I love that game. It's so smart. Those guys made another game recently, didn't they?
I don't know.
I thought they did.
All I remember is there is a something on our Twitch channel or whatever because we filmed it and we cut it out and it's just the back sack and crack part because we died laughing in that part of the Stanley Parable where
It's too good.
we walk up and it's an infomercial video and it's like, oh, if if you end up in a conversation that you don't want to be in, just tell the person that you're late for your 2 o'clock back sack and crack.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then it's like, now you try.
Playing.
It actually pauses it, and you hear Tony's voice going like, I am sorry, I am late for my 2 o'clock back sack and crack. And he timed it just so that as soon as he finished saying it, it's like, good job!
Wait, what? What?
And then there's the two of us just like, ah! And then we
What
had
is
to
this
look
AI?
Then we had to look up what a back sack and crack was,
Oh.
and that's when they wax.
I think we
your
also
your
followed.
back sack and crack.
Oh.
I think
Yeah.
we also follow it up with like, is this game using a microphone?
Yeah, we must experiment more.
Yeah, float off to space at one point.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can believe that.
Yep.
The baby sequence is the best. You let the baby die. Why would you do that?
Oh, that game.
It's smart.
It's smart.
Watch one more episode of Lost in Space. Only one though.
Which episode are you on now?
I just finished 3.
Okay. I'm a little further than that.
Yeah, I'm a little confused of why the Doctor just didn't leave.
Yep.
You will see.
Well, what's her point?
Finished.
What's her point of staying?
You'll
You'll find
see, I
out.
guess.
You'll find out.
To turn the robot against them.
I'm kind of... So what has happened so far for you in Lost?
That was just how she got to where she was.
Oh, okay.
And she's...
You guys are like... Sorry, that was probably me searching for stuff. If we're lagging.
What, did you start this channel? I don't know. When did you start?
Yes.
2011.
11.
We old.
Thanks for bringing me out of the... I don't know.
Out of the vaults.
Out of the vaults.
No problem. I like seeing you. You just had that whole school thing where you were all like, whatever. I have to concentrate on my education.
And it got me nowhere.
And I'm now a vet. I'm now a vet.
Yes.
Totally a vet.
Yes, we have.
What?
I know we
Yes.
have. I know
Yes.
we all have. I can speak for all of us.
Yes.
Chris is just like, yes, we all have.
I binged
Well,
the
we've
shit
talked
out of
about
it.
that so
quite
much.
well. Yeah, we did.
I eagerly anticipate in season 3.
I think they're filming right now.
Yep.
They are.
So
Um,
they might be doing the last 2 seasons back to back, like filming them.
Maybe
back to
because
back.
the kids were getting
Old.
they were growing really fast.
That's how that really
kind of
kids
how it
grow?
goes.
They hit that stage
Kids
of
don't
life.
grow. Don't be... Come on, guys.
I mean, look at
That's
us. Look at
silly.
us.
Look at how we just look.
Yeah, I
Saw right
I
there.
just looked at those pictures and go, oh, man.
Look what happens when Brian gets food.
Yeah.
I remember when Brian used to eat before we started filming all that, too, so we're good.
When the realization I could eat any.
I can eat anything that I can pay for.
It's like the best realization in life.
I could just
That
go-
and knowing when you go to Disneyland as an adult, you can legitimately buy anything you want.
Yes. Yes. You don't have to.
telling me to put this back.
Yeah, exactly. It's dangerous because you're
Well-
just like, ooh!
Sometimes I have to ask my spouse for permission.
Yeah. Can I? No.
See, I did.
So long, Master Gamer.
Bye.
Bye.
That's like me in a Pokemon Center in Japan.
Yeah. Can I?
No.
No, it ends up being I need to leave.
It really does. Like,
I
and
need to leave.
it was funny. Our first Disney trip together, it was like, okay, we'll come back for this if we want. We'll come back for this if we want. We'll come back for this if we want. And then you go back and the store is completely like 360s and change what's in the store. And so now we go on Disney. Now we go on Disney trips, and it's like we find something, and it's like a blanket or a throw, and we have a fairly expensive blanket upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, it was like, do we get this? And it was like, well, if we put it on the couch, it'll look good. If we do this, oh yeah, okay, we'll just buy it. Because it ends up being like, if we don't buy it now, we will not see it again.
Yeah.
That's what the problem with like Disney merchandise and Pokemon merchandise. It's like at the drop of a dime, their store can change.
Oh no, we spend enough time because when we went to Disney World, we were there for 17 days. Like we caught when the rotations were for stores. So it was like, okay, we will never see this again if we don't buy it now because it'll end up in like Epcot and we're not going back there for 5 days, and then it'll end up in Magic Kingdom and then we'll just never see it. So because there's elves that run around there at night, like swapping all
of it out. Yeah.
Disney After Hours.
Yeah. Either way, continue as we go on.
We keep digressing.
Whatever. Gives me a breather.
You breathe?
Continuing Odyssey. I beat the
Mario.
Leaf and Water World.
Here we go. Off the rails.
I've kind of come to
Continue
terms
onwards.
with not being a completionist in this and
It's hard.
searching
It's
for
hard,
anything
yeah.
in this.
Well, yeah.
It's really tough.
There's so much to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have a good time with it.
Ha-
Wait for
Yeah.
the Dark Souls level. That one's awesome.
Ow. I'm
Dark
still
Souls
remembering that level. It's long and you only.
What?
It's
You think I'm kidding?
No, it's true.
All
It's
right.
bad. I think I got.
It
It's
is.
an awesome world.
I think I got halfway through that level and said no.
I do love the flat plane.
Oh yeah,
I
like
like
when
that.
you turns into a sprite.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
That's super
yes.
cool.
I love that they
I'm
I'm
integrated that.
surprised how well it like it's just seamless. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does it.
Nintendo with like Mario Kart and Mario Galaxy, like or
Zelda even.
Odyssey. Sorry, like Mario Galaxy, I thought was a pretty good game. Mario Odyssey, the changing of the worlds makes sense. Like the locations make sense.
Yeah.
The gameplay is killer.
Well, even the thing about Zelda: Link to the Between Worlds, when
Sure.
when he flies
Yeah.
himself
Yeah.
into a wall,
That was
that's
really good.
Super good.
But like Mario Odyssey to me feels like the ultimate 3D Mario game. Now they might be able to pull something out of their butts and do something
Do
completely
another
different in a few years.
Yeah.
and
I know that was the
that'll
big
blow me away again. But Odyssey to me is something you could add DLC to. I would pay for and just.
That
keep
was
playing.
one of the rumored DLC E3 leaks.
That's
is that there was a Delfino Plaza level.
Dig it. I like
Sure.
add more worlds. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me explore more.
And people
Yeah,
were
no,
wondering that
it's-
when they made Super Mario Maker on the Wii U. It's like now you get to make your own Mario levels. Like, what do you do after this?
Yeah.
What does Nintendo do for Mario after this? And Nintendo's like, hold my beer.
Well, yeah, that's what I
Ghost
mean.
Guy,
Like
hold my beer.
we
Yeah.
got the ultimate in racing for Mario Kart with Mario Kart
8 Deluxe.
8, and then the deluxe version. And to me, again, that's one where if they just kept
Just,
releasing
yeah, DLC. I would.
DLC,
They're
and
not,
good,
they're
yeah.
not gonna at this point. I
they're
don't
not
think.
going to. But in my brain, it's
Yeah.
like if they do one more Mario Kart game, legitimately just call it Mario Kart,
I-
and at that point, just be like, hey,
And
Yeah.
honestly, like that's as good as an idea that is. You have to look at it as a.
I know,
shareholder's
money making
shareholder-
thing.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm okay with paying $40 every year for so many extra carts and this, or not even carts, but just the racetracks.
I don't think that's how Nintendo will do it.
They won't.
It's,
No.
But in my brain, like they've gotten to this point where Mario Odyssey is the perfect combo of
Mm-hmm.
It's everything. It's
Everything.
a really good collection and collaboration of all the Mario's
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
in one
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
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 Like
was.
it has everything from Super Mario Brothers, from Mario Galaxy to the collection aspects from 64 and
Just
Yeah.
missing that
Sunshine.
flood.
Oh, I'm missing.
Paint.
I want
Huh?
Sunshine.
Paint. Or Sunshine. That's
Mario
the-
Paint.
Mario
Mario Paint.
Paint.
It's missing Mario Paint.
Yeah, I do like the 64 thing where you're jumping through the picture frames too.
Yeah, you can still jump
Yeah.
through the picture
And
frames.
find the
Add in
secret
You found that world.
areas. I found a couple secret worlds.
There's
Yeah.
a couple, yeah.
There's the one big one which I didn't like.
The Dawn.
Being revealed
Oh,
too
Metro.
early.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That one being revealed too early was like, oh, really? That's what you. That's how you choose to reveal that. I don't
Stop looking for secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's right there.
No,
Some of them were right there.
I know.
At some point, it's like if you go here, you will ruin a portion of the game. Do you want to go through it?
Yes.
I feel like that,
Spoiler alert.
like if it said that, I would totally be like, maybe no.
Thank you, sir.
And
Because I'm an adult.
sure. Right beside me. Or the microphone.
So Mario Odyssey.
Yes. Good game.
I like that game.
I'm scared to pull it away.
You should be.
Last thing I did was watch Atomic Blonde.
How is that? Is
Oh,
that
what's that?
first
I've never
question,
seen
is
it.
that
I've
on
never
Netflix?
seen it.
No.
Okay, I do
Not
want to
that
see
I know
it. I
of.
still want to see it, but
It's a good
Never
movie.
seen it.
Good action.
That is part of the Chris Blockbuster collection. It's
Okay.
missing its Die Hard films, so
Yeah.
someone should get on that.
I don't know.
Yeah. What's happening
There's that
with
big
that?
empty space just on the shelf.
The D section, yeah.
I
Yep.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
Tony's next mission is burn all the Die Hard like
That's my secret
movies
mission.
in the world.
That's my. I'm the next Die Hard villain.
Literally.
I thought that was Kevin Smith.
Yes. But yeah, that's.
Cool.
Uh,
How's that film?
I don't usually say this about movies, but their soundtrack was awesome.
You've clearly not watched an Edgar Wright film.
No, because this movie is based kind of at the end of the Cold, or
Oh, yeah?
right before the Berlin
Yeah.
Wall,
So it's a bit of a
Okay,
period
I'm
piece.
used to-
kind
A
of.
little bit, like not too.
But, and so they
old.
had all that
Oh
kind of
my.
80s
Mm.
music.
Oh, I'm super into that.
Like it was just the soundtrack alone was great.
Ah.
Good action because I think it was the same co-director as John Wick.
Okay.
So
Is there a dog?
I like those.
That
action.
guy should get
Mr.
all
Dog.
sorts of jobs when it
I
comes to
know.
like choreographing fight scenes
Yeah.
and filming fight scenes.
and I mean Charlize
He
Theron.
was one of the directors for Deadpool too.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, there's a way to film action that feels like an action scene,
It was very like you could almost feel it. Like it was
and that's
heavy
the
hits
piece.
and like.
And you can see the stuff. Like I think that's what I loved so much about John Wick is. He
You
goes
can
to
see
fight
the
someone-
action.
Well, it's because Keanu Reeves was trained. Like he even before this.
I get that,
he was
but
trained.
start showing that junk off. Like I'm tired
Yeah.
of these fast cuts with people. Train these people. They're
Yeah.
actors. It's what
Actually,
they're
there was.
supposed to be.
I read up on IMDb after, but there is one scene where it's a long 10-minute fight and it moves all around this building.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's one.
I love one shots.
One shot.
Yeah.
One shots, but
that
they
is
said they
seamless
masterfully did,
one-shots.
like when they shut the door. That's when
Yep.
it cut,
Yeah.
Right.
and it was just so well done.
Yeah.
That
That
was
was even.
I think you guys need to watch Birdman.
I've seen Bird. Yeah.
It is super.
But like
that. It's
the
basically
Daredevil stairwell scene, same thing. Like they passed a beam or like
And it
a
was-
support beam, and that's where the cut
And it doesn't
is.
even
Well,
look like
Yeah, that's
it
the
did.
trick.
And you know what?
Seamless.
Remember the casino sequence in Black Panther? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was all one shot.
Yeah.
That action
It's
sequence.
just it's finding that wall you can pass by,
Yeah.
so that
that
you
one
can
time
fake
that the
yeah.
shirt kind of goes over the camera
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they pass behind the one guy,
Yeah.
and it just keeps, and then you're like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I-
yeah.
the cut.
Oh,
That guy's just a CG character. That's
Birdman
playing
is
in
so
the-
good with that. It's such a good job with that.
Oh.
But it is a glorious way to make a fight scene. And
Yeah.
if you can actually so you can see the
Yeah.
action kind of
Yeah.
thing too. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Charlize Theron still got it. Like,
She's very hit and miss for me with stuff. I do
Yeah.
like. It's not like I avoid her,
Her
in films.
movies.
It's yeah. Sometimes you watch them and I go,
whenever I watch,
Oh.
well, other than The Huntsman, that's the only thing I didn't like her in.
I'm trying to think of what
Huntsman. What's Huntsman?
the Snow White.
The
thing.
Snow
Oh, yeah,
White.
the one I didn't
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
It was her voice that annoyed me
And yeah, I think
in
that's
that
the
movie.
piece.
In the movie, but everything else I've watched her in, I'm cool with. Like she's,
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
it was all around actually good cast. John Goodman's in it.
I love John Goodman.
No, we forgot to talk about that.
Young.
Oh yeah, we did.
We're not going to talk about that. I think it talks about itself.
James
Yeah,
it talks itself.
no.
It talks to
Well, no, they're trying to find a role for all of
all
them.
the rest of them.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about
I take it John Goodman led
Why
show.
can't I remember his name? Is it James McAvoy? Young Xavier.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's McAvoy.
He's in it.
Oh, cool.
The
Good
girl
for
who
him.
played that in the Mummy, the new one,
Tom Cruise.
the Tom Cruise Mummy,
You mean Tom Cruise?
Oh, the lady.
the lady.
Oh, then I don't know.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise is not in this.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Uh,
I don't know anybody else from them. I have. You gave me the. I have yet to
the-
watch that movie.
you're not missing out on this.
The Kingsman, the sword leg.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
her.
yeah, that lady.
Oh, her?
She's good.
She's
Yeah.
in. Oh, she's the mummy in that movie.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
I
Better
just-
in Kingsman.
Kingsman are such good movies.
Oh, I have so much fun watching those.
They're so
They're good,
entertaining.
yeah.
And again, good action.
Good action.
That's it. I think
Good
there's
dialogue too.
Imagine if that church sequence was one shot. In
Oh.
the first movie. Imagine
Yeah.
if that was all one shot. That would have
Yeah.
been so satisfying.
They do enough of the, but it was still a satisfying scene,
Oh,
just the way
it
they
was-
filmed all of the.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it almost felt like an Edgar Wright directed movie.
That one did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the pieces if you can get a good action kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see Charlize Theron naked,
Not really.
she's like for
That's
Peach, she's
what
still
the-
got it.
That's what the
I get it.
internet is for.
But I
She
also
did a
don't.
lot. I'm actually surprised at how much nudity there is of her.
Well,
This movie.
well,
But
You know
She
what,
was
there's-
always willing to do it though. Like
I was just gonna say,
she did a lot of
there's-
movies where she's
there's some actresses that are just like, who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of actors who I also believe don't care.
Yeah.
It just becomes nobody wants to
Nobody
see
wants
actors
to.
naked.
Yeah.
See
They
a
want to
penis.
see the act. Yeah.
Because it makes people feel awkward.
Well, but, forgetting Sarah Marshall, it was what's his name from How I Met
Jason
Your Mother?
Segel?
Oh,
Yeah,
Jason
Jason
Segel.
Segel. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, full frontal, like, and he didn't care.
Twice.
It was, yeah,
he did in Knocked Up too.
yeah. But that's my thing. It's like if it adds comedy or it adds to a scene,
Yeah.
like I'm down.
I remember that one year. It was
really
like
don't
every-
care.
I remember that year when
Leaks.
male frontal nudity was huge everywhere. Like you had Watchmen, you had
Oh,
Grand
yeah.
Theft Auto had
Oh.
the frontal nudity.
Well,
like tons
I
of
know
stuff.
Michael Fassbender did a movie. And he showed himself.
Yeah. I think.
I don't know.
Was it
I can't remember what
Assassin's
movie. No,
And again, I am still
no, because it was
one
at the
for
Oscars that year that Clooney made a comment.
Oh.
Like, dude, wow.
I'm still down for the nice camera trick of like you don't really see anything.
Yeah.
I'm still down for that in films because
I think the lack of what you're looking for your imagination really fills in a lot of gaps.
Well, one, it fills in, and two, do you really need to see the person completely naked to?
You don't see her.
Well, no, but like that's my thing is.
Do you see nip?
Is there a point to having someone in the shower naked and da-da-da-da-da?
Washing all the blood off them.
Or, like, and I don't need the blood mixed with the nudity piece of it to, like, that's, if you watch Cabin in the Woods, director's commentary, Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon have a very big talk about how you do not mix the sexual stuff with the violent stuff.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't hit the right notes in a person's brain, and I'm like, I
can see that.
I dig that. So when those two, when Thor and what's her name are doing it in the woods.
Oh yeah.
They make sure that she's covered up before she actually dies.
Yeah.
For that exact reason, because you're not trying to they're like you don't mix the two, and that's where problems start to arise. And I'm like, and again, I don't really need nudity. I know they're doing it. There's other ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing for me in films.
If I want to see the nudity, you can go to the internet, like you said.
Again, yeah, there's
just giving you the heads up in this movie that
like even with like something that Deadpool, like you don't need nudity. The implied nudity is just
good. And you know what? There's something about a person's butt I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know butts.
Yeah, I don't care about butts, but if I see their,
And then and again, it depends on the movie. Because forgetting Sarah Marshall, it's supposed to be like a shocking.
The second one was she got walked into.
Yeah.
Caught him by surprise.
Right, like there's a moment
the first
where
one he was just trying to be funny.
Yeah, but there's moments where it's like, okay, this works, it makes sense, and sometimes it's just like, hey, nudity.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not into that kind of stuff.
Good movie. Definitely go watch that.
Atomic. I forgot that was a film.
Yeah,
I heard
me too.
It was like the James Bond of this generation.
It's
which version of James?
Which version of James?
Pierce Brosnan.
I mean, they could keep going with these movies because, like I said, it was the fall of Berlin.
Leaves a lot left, right?
Yeah.
You heard they're doing another Hitman's Bodyguard film?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we need another one of that.
Nope.
Well, we could see how it goes.
I mean, depends on who's in it.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yep. Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
No, you can still. You have him for a second one. He's getting hunted again for some stupid thing he did.
What if Ryan Reynolds was being hunted?
And Samuel goes
the Bodyguard's
Yes.
Hitman. The Bodyguard's
Hitman. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the name of the sequel. That's
that would be the perfect. That'd actually be really
Call
good.
us. We can do this.
I don't know how we don't work in Hollywood.
We have so much good ideas.
We've yet to write anything.
The best Deadpool movie is the Deadpool movie where he realizes he's being scripted for a movie, but he can write his own movie better than anyone else can. So the movie is about him writing his own movie.
That's the video game.
I know, but it works so well in the video game that it's yeah.
I love in the video game when like it's like one of the objectives is to move an object into a certain space, and so you do it because it's one of the objectives, and then he pretty much looks at the camera and he's like, "This will pay off later," and then. Why am I doing this? And the whole scene is pretty much like, don't worry, you'll find out why we're doing this in like an hour.
I think the best joke,
and then it pays off like an hour later.
I think the best sketch in that Deadpool video game, as pretty much a bad game as it is the one where he walks into a room but it's like half loaded.
Yeah.
And it's literally like enemies in the T-pose, gray textures. And he's like, what the hell? He closes the door. It's like, calls up the developers like, hey, what happened to this room? You guys don't have enough money? I'm going to wire you some money right now. Fix this room. And then, like, loading bar on the bottom. Is it done? All right. Well, done.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the developers put a lot of love into that game. I liked that game.
Yeah, the gameplay was not great.
Yeah, it was a generic action game.
Yeah, but the story is good. It was funny.
Yeah, Deadpool made that game.
So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Good?
Yeah,
That's
Good.
Got to call it a day, guys. Put a bow on it. And
thanks for watching.
We'll post it to the internet.
Yeah, you can check us out at barrelrollnews.com for all of our other stuff, our social media, etc., etc., etc. Join us next week
on another exciting episode of the Barrel Roll Newscast, where I guess we need to talk about E3 stuff, right?
Well, if we're not doing a prediction, then we don't need to.
No,
we won't. Predictions at this
but that's
point.
what our news. That's what our news is going to be.
90% of things are on the table now.
Yeah.
But we'll figure.
We'll find some news to talk about next week, like we do every other week. So join us then.
We'll see you soon.